Hey, man.
Guard have that porn must.
Guys, guess what?
What?
We got one!
Yeah, buddy.
And it's a big one.
This is the big one. I didn't realize how big this one when I heard it dropped, but this one is huge. As
Former Trump spiritual advisor and megachurch church pastor admits to essay of a 12-year-old girl. And we get this lovely photo of him just being taken away by the cops here.
Hey, is that a trans woman?
Wait, let me see. It doesn't appear to be. Maybe it is. The founder of Texas megachurch, who resigned last year after a woman in Oklahoma accused the pastor of sexually abusing her in the 1980s, pleaded guilty. Robert Preston Morris doesn't seem like a trans woman.
No.
I think it's not.
A drag queen?
Wait, drag queen?
No,
I don't think he would make it in the field.
Yeah.
I don't think he'd do very well, honestly, if he did try. So no, I'm gonna say no.
Huh? Weird.
It's always who you always expect.
Yeah. The Petonomicon has many names.
Robert Preston Moore, 64. Jesus Christ. So this is from the 80s, man, and this is. I guess I'm glad that Texas has whatever statute of limitations they've enacted or whatever that allow this to still be prosecuted, because it's from the 80s. And
wild.
Sometimes Texas does okay things, you know?
Or
at least they haven't gotten around to making laws against.
Short-sighted, because boomers forget their parents hated them too. Their parents hated them for rock and roll and hippie shit. Like, every generation thinks their kids are the weakest kids of all time. It's a never-ending cycle. Like, my dad's always like, kids these days just want to pick their own gender and play Fortnite. And I'm like, sure, whatever, that's true. But your dad was just like, kids these days just want to smoke Mary Jane and kiss colored girls. And then his dad was just like, kids these days just want to listen to jazz and let women vote. And then this is a long joke, and then his dad was just like, kids these days just want to believe in evolution and dance with the Chinamen. And then his dad was just like, kids these days just want to ride the railroads and let Italians vote. And then his dad is just like, kids these days just want to send telegrams and let women read them. And then his dad is just like, kids these days just want to wear powdered wigs and revolt against the British. And then his dad is just like, kids these days just want to watch Shakespeare and stop burning women. And then his dad is just like, kids these days just want to leave the Catholic Church and let the priests fuck adults. And then his dad is just like, kids these days just want to sail to the New World and ravish the natives. And then his dad is just like, kids these days just want to contract the bubonic plague and look a Jew in the eye.
Any of you incels, QAnon, 4chan, Snyder Cut motherfuckers want to get on a line now? Anybody? I think so.
Forced adversity.
Best jingle in the fucking game, baby. Best jingle in the game. How you guys doing? I'm doing all right. Doing okay. We're gonna. Oh, it disappeared. Where am I? Oh my god. Okay, there I am. All right. I'm gonna bring on a couple people. You might know them.
You know me? Do you know me? Do I know me? Who am I?
I mean, I know. What was your name again?
I think it's Morgan.
No, the other one. What's? I'm drawing a blank, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. My other
You
name.
mean me? You mean little old me?
Me doesn't sound
That's
like
about
a real name. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to talk about fascists today. We're going to be very
Again?
delicate about it because some people get super offended when you say that about them, and they are running the government.
Yeah, it
I
turns
feel
out.
like this is new territory for us, and we've never discussed this subject before.
Am I pronouncing it
very
right?
excited.
Is that right? It's not really fascism unless it comes from the certain region. I don't know. I don't have that.
Going for
Otherwise, it's sparkling authoritarian. I don't know, man. I don't know.
yeah, it's been a long day.
Yeah. it
Year.
has.
It's not
Century.
fascism. It's not fascism unless it comes from the fasci region of France. Otherwise, it's sparkling authoritarianism.
There you go. Fuck yeah. Great, Bob. Your name's Bob. I'm remembering it this time.
It's spelled the same way backwards as it is forwards.
Oh.
It's true.
So you can just call me palindrome.
You know what
want
else
to.
is? Whoa, Nemo.
That'll help you
toss
remember
lasso
it.
to me now.
What?
Whoa,
What?
Nemo. Toss a lasso to me now. That's also a palindrome. You
Good
got to
to know.
spell whoa, W-O. That's the only way it works. Anyways, yeah, we're going to talk about palindromes today because that's cool.
It's the palindrome cast.
So I realized just now that a lot of the videos that I screen record is the first time I've done this, like as a source for my videos. Maybe the volume wasn't up high enough. I don't know, or maybe I need to go in and just up the volume in my my editing software because those didn't seem. Could you guys hear those? Okay, that last one.
Yeah, it sounded fine.
Okay. Well, we're gonna talk about frogs. We're gonna talk about, various ways to fight fascists that don't actually involve actual fighting, because that is technically still the stage we're at right now. It's actually what is needed right now is not literally fighting them. Would you guys agree on that?
Yeah.
Um,
Fighting them in an asymmetric warfare kind of way, perhaps, but
Has everybody seen the frog photos going around?
I think if
Yeah,
we
they
should show the frogs if for people who haven't seen the frogs. These are the frogs that Alex Jones warned us about, by the way. These are those
Yeah.
frogs.
Turns out he was right, I guess. So the other day, this photo was taken, and I think it will become iconic and legendary in time. Assuming we actually get to write our history going forward. We'll see how that goes.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Let me get these fine people off the side of the screen there. There we go. Look at this guy.
Look at that
Wow.
frog.
Wow. What do you think those fucking what do you think those cops are thinking right now?
This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah. Like, how do I know how hard to beat this thing up if I can't tell if it's a man or a woman? Just kidding. They don't care.
They don't care.
Hey, is my mic working? It looked like I unplugged for a second. Can y'all hear me?
I
I
can
can
hear
hear you just fine.
Okay. All right.
Why would you want those frogs to be cyber? Isn't that like a comic book that has had like an issue and a half come out in 7 or 8 years?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
So the video of this initial frog event is even more awesome because you get to see the things Frog does, like the physical actions he takes that forces these guys to back up. It's pretty hilarious. It's going to go down in history with the guy in front of the tank in Tiananmen Square.
Nice. I hope so. I fucking hope so. Well, but then, the thing is, the frog, it hopped along and went about its business, and its business was apparently lots of fucking, because we got more frogs.
Yep.
Yes, frogs together strong.
The Frog Union.
They are known to change their sex in a single sex environment so that they can reproduce quickly.
Well, that's only because they're putting chemicals in the water, make them gay, Bob. So, a really smart guy told me that one time.
A
So-
pretty fart smeller.
Yeah. Did I tell you guys about fucking weather?
About who?
My son the other day decided to try his hand at one of those switch the first letters around things, and he tried to color and just right.
No.
His mom, he's like, "I'm a fucky leller." We're like, "Whoa,
whoa!" Oops.
He realized as he was saying it what he was doing, and we were just like laughing our asses off. So we can hear lots of afterwards. Anyway, we're good parents. Meme that came out of the whole business. I think I shared it the other day on the Shillcast, maybe, but yeah, there we go. So this is it's pretty good. Most recently, I think, as far as I know, at Marvel or DC anyway, he was writing X Factor, I believe. So yeah, this wonderful, really great moment from Captain America, actually.
It's true.
I forget who wrote it. Was it Bendis or Brubaker?
I don't.
It doesn't seem like Brubaker. Brubaker rarely ever got that like cheesy with Cap, But
if it's from Civil War,
then it's Miller.
It's Millar, yeah.
Yeah, who admittedly has written some things that aren't terrible here and there.
Occasionally writes an okay comic book.
Do you know he's written like apparently the worst, most offensive comic ever, basically. It's so bad that it's from like I guess early 2000s, whenever that was the cool thing to do. Be edgy and be offensive on purpose.
Sure.
It's so bad though that he doesn't include it in his overall bibliography. He doesn't include it in his catalog that like where you can buy all the shit. So
shut up, really?
Yeah. I've thought about covering it, but really that's more coverage than it's worth. It's like it is literally just the most it's things that he's trying to offend everybody. That's the point of the thing. It's all like I'm gonna offend and shock you, but it's all like you're a 14-year-old boy, aren't you, that you're writing this? That's what this is the limit of what you think is shocking. It's the same shit over and over again.
Right.
It's pretty dumb. It's like, oh no, a character banged a character and gave him AIDS. Wow. That's fucking
wow,
really
that's Jesus Christ.
That's one of the more tame things that he says, look, man, hey, I liked Wanted back in the day. I probably wouldn't if I read it now, but in 2008, I thought that was an awesome comic. Okay. Don't judge me. It was 2008. It's a different time. All right.
We won't judge you too much. Just a little.
Let me see if I can pull up the videos since Bob brought it up. Right. You know what? I don't trust that these recordings came out too well, so I don't want to waste everybody's time with those. So I'm just going to go through my history and play the videos that way. So have you guys heard of the Unipiper?
The what?
The Unipiper. The Unipiper is a Portland legend. He's been around for at least 15 years, maybe. I forget his real name, but he is a guy who he hasn't been doing as much the last few years because he had a baby, has a family now. But he's a guy who wearing a Darth Vader mask, usually, sometimes various other ones for different occasions, but usually Darth Vader helmet.
Sure.
He's in a kilt on a unicycle, playing bagpipes, riding around.
Okay.
He made a rare appearance in Portland. So let's check this out. And it also shows a little bit of the frog and other things that are going on. Some of the dastardly deeds that the radical left are doing here in Portland. Shocking footage, guys. You guys are gonna need to. I don't know what you're gonna do, but
I'm prepared to move to my fainting couch.
Here we go.
Oregon waiting for a federal court decision whether National Guard troops can be deployed in Portland. Today, another federal court decided to allow the president to keep the National Guard under federal command in Chicago. But there are some guardrails. Welcome to Coin 6 News at 6. I'm Lisa Balick. The latest this afternoon in the president's plans to deploy National Guard troops in some cities. Today in Chicago, a federal appeals court lifted a judge's order. So now the National Guard there.
You can tell she's just like mindlessly reading because she said some cities instead of some cities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's just some cities. Yeah. Okay.
Is under federal control, but they still cannot be deployed in Chicago. Meanwhile, here in Oregon, we are still waiting for that federal court to rule What happens to the Guard here? Troops from Oregon and California at Guard bases here in Oregon. Not in the streets, though. Our Travis Tyke is live outside the ICE facility in South Portland. Travis, what's the situation there at this hour? Has the rain put a damper on things outside?
Haven't seen a damper on things just yet, Lisa. Only a couple of sprinkles out here so far. Still seeing quite the lively activity as we're out here. It did get tense about 30 minutes ago as some federal agents needed to move some cars in and out of the facility there. And so protesters and agents did come face to face for a minute, but nothing physical, no arrests, no physical confrontations or anything of the like. You can still see many people in costumes. The music still continues to ramp up. One thing that has developed a little bit, Lisa, as we look up toward the ICE building, you can see some agents now much more visible than they were just an hour or so ago. What we also saw out here in terms of protesters was the famous Unipiper, Portland's famous Unipiper. Brian Kidd was out here playing "This Land Is Your Land," moving back and forth here on South Bancroft Street, just in front of the ICE facility. Now, we talk about these protests. These continue to play out as we wait for the ruling from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals to decide if President Trump can legally deploy National Guard troops in Portland.
They're doing an excellent job of like, hey, you figure out who the good guys and the bad guys are by looking at us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm echoing.
God damn it.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're echoing.
Sorry, you have to remind me like Bob did on Friday to mute this fucking thing. Actually, let me see if I can get the settings changed while y'all discuss this, I suppose.
Okay.
Is the echo happening only when you do Windows from the internet, or is it just sharing Windows generally?
It's when I share a window. So it's I know what the issue is. Y'all go ahead.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I think this is a brilliant strategy. Number one, I'm disappointed not to see any inflatable T-Rex costumes out there. But number two, this is really great tactics and strategy because there is no version of a video of ICE beating up people in an inflated animal costume that makes ICE look good.
Right.
Even to people who normally would love seeing cops beating up so-called rioters. It makes it very difficult to take the charge of them being rioters seriously when they're dressed like a cartoon frog.
Right. But yeah,
Yes, I want to see, like Harrison James, I want to see on No King's Day next Saturday an army of inflatable T-Rexes, millions and millions of us across the country marching, putting the fear of the raptors just behind us into ICE everywhere.
Even if you are on the side of ICE for whatever reason that is, you look silly, right? Like you've got you're pepper spraying up an inflatable frog suit. Like,
Yeah.
That's what the government is paying you. Our hard-earned tax dollars are being spent in the middle of a government shutdown to pepper spray inflatable frogs
In the butt.
Real quick, can you guys check your settings and make sure you have echo cancellation selected in the audio settings?
Yeah, let's see.
I have it selected.
Yes, I also have it selected.
Okay, BRB.
Sketchy suggests maybe we should have a bouncy house at the protest. A bouncy house in the big house?
Well, there often are bouncy houses at protests. The problem is they can't move with the march.
Right.
So they have to either be at the beginning or the end of the march. But if you're wearing an inflatable T-Rex costume or a frog or SpongeBob or any of that, that can go with you. And the visual, I know this isn't going to happen, but the visual of millions of inflatable animal costumes marching against fascism would be both hilarious and historic.
Right. Well, it goes to one of the things that fascists rely on is being taken seriously because they are fundamentally not serious people. They do serious things. They cause serious harm, but they are not serious people. They don't believe serious things. They don't exist in reality.
They take themselves way too seriously.
Right.
And that's the thing. This tactic takes away all pretense that they are serious people. It makes fun of them. It mocks them.
Right.
The two things they desperately want are to be taken seriously and to be popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it undermines every pretense that they can pretend they're the good guys. And it's like, what did you do today? Oh, we spray painted some people in frog costumes, and we kettled SpongeBob and Squidward.
Yeah,
you're the good
I was
guys.
at a protest. I was at a protest in LA a few years ago. It didn't make national news or anything, but there was a mariachi band there.
Oh yeah,
and every time, one of the federal agents approached the protesters in any way, the mariachi band would just stroll over to that officer and start playing a song. And that made the cop back off, because
what the fuck you do?
What kind of a dick attacks a mariachi band, right?
Right. And who wants to be the guy who's like on, this show, just like, and here is a cop, a couple of cops breaking a mariachi band's instruments. You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
You're just obviously the bad guy.
And J Kung 56, absolutely everyone should. That's not the one I thought I was looking at.
Oh,
Somebody just put in the chat, maybe it got deleted for some reason, that we should do cosplay at Sketchy. That's why J Kung appeared immediately after Sketchy. Like, Reggie, yes, we all should cosplay at protests, because it completely deflates the charge that we are all violent Antifa super soldiers. You cannot run footage on Fox News or wherever the hell else these people get their news from. You cannot run footage of police beating up Naruto or Bugs Bunny and call them Antifa super soldiers or terrorists. That just is not, people are not going to buy that narrative at all.
Well, I think this is why your Fox News and your Newsmax, if you peek it on their coverage, or you're out and about, you see it on TV, they're playing clips from 5 years ago.
Yeah, or from another country.
Or from another country. They're not playing contemporary footage from Portland or Chicago.
Yeah.
Let's see if we got the echo taken care of. I don't know. It's weird because I'm seeing other people that have this issue. It's been an issue in the past for me, but it's been a long time. I don't remember exactly how I fixed it, and then I did, and now it's doing it again. And it's like, but yeah, there's lots of places where people are trying to figure out what it is, and they don't get a good answer. And a lot of people also saying they didn't change anything, nothing is different. It just suddenly started doing it, which is what I feel like this experience has been too. So it's fucking StreamYard.
Yeah, that sounds like StreamYard did some kind of shadow update and didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
It sounds very ominous.
I am gonna be quiet for a minute because I'm gonna be fixing the audio on some of these videos so we can hear them properly. I don't think they'll be loud enough. But yeah, you guys are doing great. Yeah, great job. Right. Keep it up, team. Yeah, just to
Thanks,
add on
Coach.
what you guys are saying, that this is the thing that is needed right now is to not, like, AOC put out a video saying this. What can you do right now, especially if you're somebody that's worried about, retaliation or being harmed or something like that? Obviously, if you are not a U.S. citizen, don't do shit. Don't. You are not in a good position, obviously, and you are definitely in a bad position for when it comes to how they might respond if they, catch you doing something they don't like. But otherwise, laugh at them. That's pretty good. That's like actually what's needed right now. Like you guys were saying, just make them look like the dipshits they are. Trump, it doesn't even seem like Trump is really, driving the car right now.
No, Stephen Miller is the president.
So, Stephen Miller is going to do what his little fucking, tiny dick balding at 17 energy has told him to do for so long that, and now he's got, this is a moment. This is what he's been fucking working for. He's in it
for 10 years.
and he's going to blow it. He's going to fucking blow it. He's blown it already.
Yeah.
Nobody can take this guy seriously. When he gets on, it's like scary what he's saying because you know he does technically have the power on paper to say what he's saying, to do what he's threatening, right? But he doesn't have the power, you know, the other kind of power, which is like where people are going to really be scared of him. You know what I mean? And yeah, so it kind of leaves it in the lurch of like, how's it going to play out? But yeah, it's not, he's such a dipshit. And I can't believe that he must have been practicing some of these speeches in the mirror for decades at this point. And, you know, saying shit like plenary authority.
So for those who don't know what that means, plenary authority means like absolute authority that like there's no oversight whatsoever. There's no countermanding it. That is just the authority that he has as president.
Which is what he was literally saying right before he fucking glitched out on TV the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And which leads people to wonder, was he not supposed to say that? Maybe.
Probably not.
If you have that clip, we should play it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like they want more than anything else. They want to not be laughed at.
Right.
That is
Which
their
means
biggest weakness. Making
never
them look
stop
like
laughing
fools.
at them.
Yeah. Because we're better at the left is better at comedy than the right ever
always
has
have been.
And just the simple act of putting on a frog costume shows that.
Like whenever
that's a joke all in itself that makes them look completely clownish all by itself.
What does?
Wearing a frog costume?
Oh yeah.
And then daring them to attack you?
Well, I mean, not to mention the fact that it literally, you know, the frog that was their thing. They had it for such a short, brief, beautiful time. They had the fucking frog. That was theirs.
And we've taken it back.
And we've
reclaimed the frog.
Some of you might remember one of my very first videos was about that. It was actually about back when Xander Hall was called Pig Puncher. And I had seen some people, you know, on Twitter or whatever, being like, he's a fascist because his chat has, you know, they use Pepe emotes. And I was like, really? Is that what y'all? Okay, so I made a video addressing that, and I was like, you guys don't know that was essentially reclaimed by the left. That's a big win earlier on in the culture war, actually. And it's like, it may not seem like a big deal, but it is, because you don't want to give up any symbols to fascists. They cannot create any of their own. They're going to steal. They're going to take things. And that's why you know, one of the reasons I started wearing the Captain America helmet when I first started making videos, because I'd seen them, you know, a few of them with Captain America shields. I was like, fuck, nope, not going to happen. Nope, can't take it. You know, and so yeah,
that brings another thing you can do if you're at any of these protests, especially coming up next week with the No Kings 2 protest. Wave American flags.
Yes, 100%.
Reclaim the American flag. Make them do it. Because no one wants to be the guy in uniform attacking someone waving an American flag.
Yeah, and look at the way they're
we're going again.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah. All right. Well, let's just watch this. So while this is on, while we're listening to stuff on this, you guys will hear echoes. So I'll have to mute this before we talk.
Okay.
You've called the district judge's ruling blocking the deployment of National Guard in Oregon legal insurrection. Does the administration still plan to abide by that ruling?
Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit. I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Stephen?
You can see he's still moving.
Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? It seemed, Stephen, I apologize.
Dial up modem sound, you know. Oh my God. Yeah, that's I don't know, man. It's a weird fucking moment that if I can do my little head canon and say that if what I was just saying about him is true, that he's just been, let me get this muted, that he's been kind of preparing for this moment for years, then maybe he just realized he kind of made a mistake and just hadn't, like, he fucking crashed and burned live on TV. Like, I don't know what to do.
Right. Just absolutely froze up.
You know, they're not good at comedy. They're not good at improv. That's for sure.
No.
definitely
guy
not.
was-
And like
This
so,
guy
so
wasn't
like we should
handing him or anything. So
we should
Okay.
spread around nicknames for these people, like, and make it take over social media. Like the one I like for Stephen Miller is Pee Wee German.
Mhm.
I once called him AR 4'7",
Yeah.
but because that's the energy he carries. Like he's a short guy with a gun.
Right.
I don't know what his actual height is, but AOC calling him 4'7" or whatever she said was
Set
brilliant,
people off.
because that's the energy he gives, is
Yeah.
insecure short man, not a short king, because a short king owns it and is confident and not worried by it. But this is a guy who's deeply, deeply insecure.
So
about
I've
his-
got one that is interesting. I just found. This is one that apparently Trump calls him. That is meant to be derogatory. Weird Steven. Very clever. But I mean,
Trump is off his game there.
when
Yeah.
he's right, he's right. Yeah, it's not very good, but like it's still
He's correct.
right. Weird Steven. So yeah, I'm just looking for maybe some of these. Yep, there's plenty of lists of people offering nicknames.
Nos for a 2 foot.
Pee Wee German, Stephen Himmler, Kim Jong Miller, Timu Goebbels, Nazi Nosferatu. Let's see.
Well, I think when it comes to JD Vance,
All right, hold on. Fucking fire alarm, apparently.
all right, we'll take over. For JD Vance, sketchy suggests Cabbage Patch Kid. I like Couchfucker.
Couchfucker's good. For Stephen Miller, I like Nos for 4'2". That's
Nice.
I thought of that after I saw the Nos for 2 foot there.
Yeah.
Not Nos for 4'2", kind of fits the rhyme scheme of Nosferatu. But I mean, this is one of the reasons I've been becoming more and more a fan of the I've Had It podcast ladies, the two wine moms who have goofy names for everybody, because they make goofy names and they're stupid names. Like I don't think any of them are funny, but it's funny that they keep repeating them, and they've developed their own lore and their own slang about who they're talking to. Like they call JD Vance Lil Smokey because he wears eyeliner.
Because he wears the eyeliner.
And they refer to Trump as Kanks because of his cankles.
He does have cankles.
And that takes their power away from them.
Yeah.
Because they rely on people being afraid of them, and they desperately want to be cool, and they desperately want people to think they are the most serious humans who've ever lived.
Well, and so much of the fascist cult is this appeal to manliness.
Yeah.
And when you give them silly nicknames and you point out how unmanly that they are, it undermines their whole mythology. I mean, that's really part of what we should be doing, is undermining their mythology. Don't engage on their terms.
Dude, I've been saying that so many years now. You know, like somebody said earlier, you know, like it honestly, at this point, guys, I want you to understand, it actually kind of pisses me off whenever you see that the stream is about certain things, you know, and you show up and you're like, oh, old Jeremy Griggs and Nerdrotic are at it again or whatever. It's like, I mean, I care in the sense that I understand they're harassing some Asian actor again, but the reason they're fucking doing that is to distract from this shit. Stop fucking engaging with it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's,
just stop it.
They will always find another minority to hate and harass, because that keeps their audience in the bubble. We don't need to talk about it, especially here. Like this is, you know, I try very hard not to engage with chud content on this show because that's not what it's about.
Well, there's a reason why, you know, the other day it was a special occasion, my birthday and 8,000 subscribers, and I was like, hey, let's do an old where we just shit on some chuds. It's easy. It's kind of, I mean, it was fun because they were kind of new chuds a little bit, and Bob was here, so that was fun. But otherwise, go back to talking about that shit all the time. I'm kind of at a crossroads with my content in general because of that.
Dunking on chuds is like cotton candy. It's sweet, it's not filling, and it's bad for your teeth.
Yeah, and the chuds are doing that because they're desperately trying to get their audience back. Their audience is leaving them.
Yep.
So we should leave them too.
Mm-hmm.
Start shaping the narrative ourselves. since the left is rising in engagement on YouTube, or at least
Now,
it
look,
was
I'm not
last
saying
time I
that.
checked.
I'm not saying if you enjoy those videos that you should never watch some content creator that's doing that, because they're like the one that we watched the other night was from Kira's World. It was a pretty solid video. Seemed like they had good perspectives on stuff. You know, there was a time when I was not as well suited to talk about the things that we were talking about tonight. So I don't expect everybody to come at this perspective and at this angle of things. You know, if that's what they feel comfortable doing, there's a place for it. But just please understand where I'm at these days.
This is a good one. Mark just posted. Ooh, Miller's Charlie Brown shirt.
God damn, that's good.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Weren't the brown shirts like kind of like, you know, like beefy masculine guys that like beat people up though?
No.
Oh.
They were dumb redneck dipshits like the ICE guys are.
Oh.
They were just mythologized after the Nazis took power.
Right.
So
I mean, this is the thing. People, I see a lot of this going on in current day discourse where people refer to the current batch of fascists trying to run America as incompetent compared to the previous wave of fascism. But that's kind of ahistorical, because if you look at the details of how like the Nazi government was run or the Italian fascist government was run, they were all a bunch of incompetent idiots too.
Yeah, they sucked. The difference is more nuanced than that. I mean, I understand what people are saying, because I've kind of said this similar thing, but like I understand it's also that for one thing, this batch of Nazis are, as we can tell, they're not super comfortable with being called such. They still want to have their fucking at least like one little toe in the realm of like, you know, benefit of the doubt, reasonable doubt, right? So they don't want to just come out and say, yes, we're fucking Nazis, man, we're fucking fascists, that's what we're doing a fascism, deal with it. They might, you know, shed some fucking weight if they did that and be able to, you know, commit to more. But like
what it comes down to is the one thing that the Mark I fascists have versus this current crop is that a lot of the Mark I fascists were veterans of World War I who literally did not believe they had anything else to lose.
Yep.
And they were used to fighting, right? Like fighting is something they were forced to experience in World War I. And so they were willing to risk it. They were willing.
They had just lived through the Depression.
Right.
You know, they understood what it was like. You know, I'm not a compliment, it's just a fact. Everybody in the world, essentially, unless you're rich, understood true fucking desperate, you know, like starvation, you know, on a daily basis kind of shit. So yeah, the stakes were higher and greater, and the wins were like more clear. Like, you know, it's in their minds, if we win, if we do this, we'll have all the things we want. We won't be starving and shit like that. But yeah, nowadays we got a lot of creature comforts. I think that's part of it.
That's part of it. Well, I think that, you know, there's a reason we haven't seen another Unite the Right rally, even into another Trump administration. It is because they got their noses bloodied. They don't want to risk it for the biscuit. They don't want to have any skin in the game.
You reminded me of that goddamn Richard Spencer leaked audio that Milo leaked after that. And that's another thing, is they can't stop fucking stabbing each other in the back.
No.
Because
that was true of the first fascists too, is they
right. I'm literally working
each other in the back until they ran out of people to stab.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell everybody, I'm making the next anti-fascist anthem right now. You're gonna hear it soon.
Ooh.
And yeah, and the refrain of it is that fascists ain't got no fucking friends.
No.
So I want to add what I think the most important difference between fascism Mark I and fascism Mark II is.
Mm-hmm.
And this fascism Mark I arose in cultures like Italy, Germany, etc., that had no centuries-long tradition of democracy.
Right.
And so people were more used to culturally the idea of a strong man running everything, like same way in Soviet Russia, where they basically just replaced the Romanov dynasty. They just kept the infrastructure of the monarchy and put communists in those offices. Right. That's what fascists did. They basically kept the monarchy and replaced it with dumbass chicken farmers and stuff like that. In the United States, we have a 250-year history of fuck you, make me.
Right.
As our default culture. And they dramatically overestimated the level of obedience that they were going to get. This is what Curtis Yarvin is coping about right now.
Right.
They really expected people to just roll over and show their bellies once the presidency was won. Once they barely won the White House and in the past election. And like Dane has pointed out, they thought they won the culture.
Well, see, this
So
is
they
what I was
started acting like
about.
Sorry, go ahead. They started acting like they owned the culture, and that activated everybody else's "fuck you, make me" genes.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the fact that do you think that some of it, or maybe even a lot of it, has to do with the fact that, as we've talked about here on this channel plenty, there's so much of this that was astroturfed. Like they wanted to fucking rig the game, and they did in several ways. Essentially, they planted seeds in culture, which is essentially what the chuds are that we talk about around here. That's part of it. So is the Joe Rogan comedy sphere crap. Apparently, it even exists in sports fandoms and stuff. So that's what they did to, and that did work for some people. It did kind of get hook a disturbing amount of people, but it didn't really, I don't think, work on everybody or enough people, maybe. So when they start like putting this shit out here and doing the shit they're doing right now, a lot of people are just like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know.
Right. Well, I think part of it is that what it did is it activated those people who were already in those bases, and fandom spaces, whatever it was, weren't prepared to have that fight because why would they? Right. That's just not what they were. And now it's just like, well, go the fuck away. Leave me alone. I have shit to do. I also think that a lot of people who are not politically activated, the thing they remember about the last Trump administration was that in 2020, we got a bunch of government payouts for COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And Biden didn't keep doing that. And so people who weren't politically activated were prone to some of that "we're going to help you financially" rhetoric, because the last time he did, never mind that it was Democrats in Congress who kind of went, "You're going to do this." And he went, boy, it looks good for my poll numbers. I'm up for re-election. I should do this. But now he's shooting everyone in the foot economically while giving away billions of dollars to Argentina's libertarian crypto hellscape to prop that up. But like the tariffs are one of the largest tax increases in American history, and it affects exactly people who work for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that will politically activate the fuck out of you.
And the more reports that come out of children being taken out of their homes in the middle of the night, and apparently some even naked. I don't know if that means like literally naked. Thankfully I haven't seen any video of that going around, but like that's fucking horrifying to even consider. That kind of stuff kind of snaps people out of their comfort zone that are kind of like, well, it's this is unfortunate, but we'll have to vote it out next time or whatever. Meanwhile, you got Trump fucking has Trump 2028 hats in the White House for sale. They're doing that quote unquote meme because that's how they make things reality for themselves. They meme it first, as was just said by Jay. They're memeing that he's going to run again. Well, he's not really going to run again. They're just joking. They're joking. No, he's going to run again. There's not going to be a lot of point to it because the idea is that by then they will have enough troop presence across the country that they can just control whatever voting they feel is problematic for them. So
yeah, I think this is a point people need to really internalize. Memes are propaganda.
Yep.
They have always been propaganda. People think they're funny, and they are funny. But the point of, I use propaganda in the neutral sense, like not in the, like just like advertising is propaganda.
Sure.
It's a way of influencing public opinion and shaping public opinion. And memes are the shortest possible path or the most efficient pathway to doing that. You can, if you do a search for the phrase meme magic on YouTube, you will find a really interesting interview with Richard Spencer before, he became a meme of getting punched in the face, talking about this concept that they adopted from fascism Mark I. When they weren't called memes back then, it was propaganda.
Right.
Right. Well, I mean, so
And-
there's you're distinguishing propaganda. That's good because like there is the general propaganda, just things that are content that's made to convey some idea via the content itself, rather than just be the idea. And then there's the type that is I think is best defined as like fascist propaganda. The intent is to dehumanize or to make people okay with dehumanizing or harming other people or large groups of people without by just kind of lessening the moral implications of it. And that's generally what all of their propaganda is in some way or another.
Yeah, they build their movement on propaganda and what we call memes now. And he called it meme magic because, and the right calls it meme magic because a lot of their political philosophy is drawn from esoteric sources.
Mm-hmm.
Even though a lot of them are like Christians, they're profess to be Christians, but they draw a lot of their philosophy from occult and esoteric sources, where the definition of magic is a change in consciousness through an act of will.
Yes, this is what I was learning about with the original kind of accelerationist thinker guy. I forget his name, but yeah, he essentially kind of coined this type of thinking and made it, I guess, popular somehow. But I mean, what it really is just the secret for lazy assholes.
Yeah,
you just will your fucking what you want into reality by just repeating it until it happens. Enough people believe it with you, then they're going to push for the same things. So you get stuff like this right here, and then got another video. This is kind of upsetting, but it turns out good in the end. So just bear with it. Yeah.
I was listening to a story on the news today of a I'll let this finish first.
Yeah. I have some comments after this one.
Have you guys seen this one?
I've seen it.
We should play it for the audience.
Are we not playing it for the audience?
No, we should.
Yeah. It takes a minute. It's
yeah,
kind of drawn out, and it sucks because if you can look at the man's face and see the fucking desperation and just like the anguish, the idea of having to leave this country that he fucking clearly loves. We don't know his circumstances. I don't know if it's out there. Somebody's figured that out, but it doesn't matter to me. These pieces of shit just.
For those who are for some reason not watching and are only listening, what we're watching is footage of two, maybe three plainclothes ICE guys trying to arrest somebody.
What's two plainclothes and then one, in uniform guy.
With the balaclava and the mask,
and spoiler, what we're seeing is the entire community, like the entire neighborhood, comes out to stop this from happening, and they don't physically engage with the ICE agents in any way, really.
They do a little bit.
They do a little bit,
but
the lady, maybe it's the guy. One of them kicks the zip tie off way off him in a minute. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah. But it's mostly like every single car in the neighborhood honking horns at them, and all the people coming out in the street to call them pieces of shit and tell them that their children will be embarrassed by them and history will shame them and all that. And eventually these guys just leave.
Yep, this is not worth it. We're getting the fuck out of here. And it's a beautiful thing. I wouldn't expect that to happen in any great amount of circumstances like this, but it did happen, so it shows it can happen.
This is happening a lot, and it's going to happen more.
And I want to say that this is the type of thing that if you are okay, if you have the money, the ability to deal with the fucking oh shit, there goes my fucking screen. God damn it. Fuck. Sorry. I'm tired of this shit. I don't know why it's
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to leave and come back. So
all right, we'll see you in a bit.
Okay. But anyway, this is we're seeing this happen more and more. And so the spoiler is the guy they were trying to arrest did not get arrested.
Right.
The community saved him. And we're starting to see now some early confrontations, indirect confrontations between ICE and local police.
Yep.
Who normally local police stand aside.
Right.
They don't actively help ICE, but they don't stop them either. Because the official position of local police departments is that ICE and other immigration things interferes with their ability to enforce the law, because if immigrant populations in their city are afraid to report crimes to the police for fear of being deported, that undermines the police's ability to enforce the law. That's a bullshit line in a lot of cases, because the cops will just stand by and let it happen anyway. But most of them don't get actively involved in rounding up immigrants. They just stand aside and let ICE crack skulls and keep the protesters away. But now we're starting to see some situations, I think in Chicago, it could be a different city, but I think it was in Chicago earlier this week, there was some kind of incident where ICE fired pepper spray at the police.
Yes.
Or tear gassed them or something.
So in Chicago, the police were in an altercation with the protesters because the amount of protesters is now greater than the area that the police want to, the Illinois State Police want to corral them in. And so they're pushing into the streets. They're pushing, out of the area they're trying to keep them in. And ICE's security details launched tear gas into the crowd, but the cops are at the front of that crowd.
Yeah.
And so the first ones tear gassed were the cops.
Oh.
And there's the ICE just erected a fence across a street in Chicago illegally.
Right.
And we're told by the court that they have to take that fence down because that's not federal property. They're not allowed to do that.
Correct.
And it will, if they don't take it down, somebody's going to have to make them. And if it keeps going the way it's going, we're eventually going to see direct confrontations between the police and ICE somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be widespread, but an incident like that is going to happen. But I was listening to a story. I was saying before that video rolled that I was listening to a story on the news this morning about a 15-year-old autistic kid who's largely nonverbal, who's been missing for like a week. And the family put out missing persons alerts. They went to the cops and filed a missing persons report. The police were looking for this kid, and it turned out he had been arrested by ICE. They just snatched a kid off the street.
Yeah.
And didn't tell anybody. An autistic kid who, and I mean, I doubt they knew he was autistic at the time, but they just took a kid off the street and didn't tell anybody they did it.
They did that in Boston this weekend too.
Yeah.
By the way, we were talking about symbols and American flag and stuff like that. I showed this the other day. I would just show myself wearing it, but my camera's unplugged. I got my first America shirt since like middle school.
Nice.
So there we go. Look, these motherfuckers inspired me to be patriotic.
And there is nothing more iconically American for a name of a movement than No Kings.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
but
the entire foundation of our.
We can talk about how they're trying to rebrand it, the Chuds.
Yeah.
They're trying to call it.
And by Chuds, you mean the Speaker of the House.
Right. Hate America Day. That's what they're calling it.
Yeah.
It's
and
literally some like Orwell pieces war stuff. Like, oh, what is it? It's a No Kings protest. That's about hating America.
Right.
Wait, you mean the country founded on no kings?
Well, they're trying to, because they're like, how guys, we like to call things the exact opposite of what they are. We should say that that's what they're doing. You know what I mean? Because that's what they're, what is it like? They'll call something liberty movement or whatever bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
And it's all just fascism.
Yeah. And that's why No Kings is so brilliant as a name. At first I was not sold on it, but I've come around on it. But it's a brilliant marketing because of that. It's the most American thing you can say.
Right.
Like we have a long tradition, not just of like being the country that, revolted against a king, but we have a long tradition that was only recently broken of American presidents going to visit monarchies and refusing to bow to any monarch they met who was a head of state. They wouldn't be dicks to them, but they just would not bow when every other head of state would bow to them.
Right.
And for the left to claim that is brilliant, because now people who are just normies, who are just like average fuck you make me Americans, they all know the name of this day, of No King's Day. It's been all over the place. And they see twerps like, down low drag queen Mike Johnson or whatever. I don't know. He's on the DL about something, but they see this little twerp like try to call it Hate America Day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even a clever reversal of
the thing. Is
not.
He's not having a good time right now, MAGA Mike.
Yeah,
he's
no,
doing
MAGA
really
Mike
cool.
is having a rough go of it.
He's essentially taken all of the brunt of the shutdown because it is his fault. It is their fault, therefore it is his fault. And then also, there's a video that I saw he was on. I don't know why he decided to go on this morning show or news show or whatever. And a lady called in.
Screamed.
Have you heard of that?
Oh, on C-SPAN?
Yeah.
And she's like a conservative Republican voter, husband in the military. She fucking just wrecked his ass, like probably worse than he's had in a while, but definitely has. Anyway, check this out if you want to get pissed off all over again, because we kind of need you to, right? They fucking pepper sprayed the frog in his vent hole, man.
Yep.
These fucking monsters.
Yeah, this is both monstrous, but it also makes them. This highlights just how cruel they actually are. This image says everything.
Was the frog hurting people? Was he doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, of course not. He
it's just a guy in a goofy frog costume
in that suit. But I mean, yeah.
And even if you don't know that that's the ventilation hole, that that guy's gonna be breathing in that shit. If you don't know that, all it looks like is this fucking cop spraying him in the butt.
Yeah, it's like, what kind of fetish is this? I don't even know.
Very silly.
Is this yiffing? Is that what this is right here?
And this just makes the ice guy look like a bully.
Right.
That's it.
And so I find myself in a weird position. See if you guys have kind of felt this yet or not, but like we're kind of right at the point when we in a way need this kind of shit to happen. And where it's like the thing that needs to happen, as we were talking about, is that people need to see them for what they are, see the cruelty for what it is, and that just kind of indirectly anyway saying I want bad shit to happen to people.
Watch your Andor, everyone.
It's fucking weird to be in this position, and I don't want bad things to happen to people. The whole point of this is because we don't like bad things happening to people that aren't doing anything wrong. Really, I don't like bad things happening to people at all. But yeah,
I worry about. We're seeing this, right? And I think if you're watching a lot of media outlets, if you're engaged on social media, you're seeing this. But I think a lot of your conservatively controlled local news outlets aren't going to cover this. Fox News isn't going to cover this, right? They're using old footage from other countries,
right?
They're not seeing this part of it, and so I think what it is. Something you can do is if you're in a social situation where it makes sense to show someone who is like not politically activated, like, hey, did you see what's going on in Portland? Did you see this video of this cop spraying the guy in the frog costume? Like, do that.
Absolutely. And also, as AOC said, one of the best things that anybody can do at this point is witness. Just it needs to be seen, needs to be documented, recorded. That's another issue I think that the 2.0 has that the 1.0 didn't. It's just everybody's got a camera.
Everyone has a camera.
You can't. It's not as easy to lie to the general populace and get away with it. They're still doing it pretty well, but I guess. But actually, at the same time, let's watch this video here. I've got a clip from I think it's CNN interview with Jason Stanley, and his take on things. He's one who would know, considering that's his view. His whole field of work is fascism.
Yeah.
philosophy and the chair in American
Let me know if you guys are able to hear this well enough, please, because it's a little bit quiet.
Studies at the Munk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy at the University of Toronto. He's also the author of the remarkable book, Erasing History, How Fascists Rewrite the Past to Control the Future.
I just want to point out that back in 2021, I had a video about that, and I literally framed it as they like to use the cosmic cube. That's the way I related it to comics.
Yeah.
Because that's what the cosmic cube can be. Just make things go away, things be however you want them to be. And it's they're a little bit clumsy with it for sure. At least from our perspective. Once again, it's difficult to gauge how people generally are receiving this stuff, but yeah, he seems to think, well, I'll let him say.
So central, Jason, to some of your work and some of your thinking, that storytelling is such a powerful tool utilized by authoritarians. It is often more effective than brute force.
That's right. I mean, first of all, I want to take a little issue with your comparison to the McCarthy era. 40 academics were dismissed over their posts about Charlie Kirk. I'm not aware of such a rapid mass firing of academics in the McCarthy era.
Wow.
So I think to some extent, this is much worse than the McCarthy era. We've had countless people fired across countless industries. We had the Washington Post fire Karen Attiah, their only black opinion columnist remaining, for utterly innocuous posts, claiming it was over Charlie Kirk. Basically, people are targeting anyone whose political opinions they don't like. Looks like, the Washington Post took these innocuous comments. Attiah is left-wing, so they targeted her, or, Attiah is a journalist, so she's neither left nor right, but she didn't fit in with their new mandate. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to take this as any excuse to target people whose political orientations, whose truth-telling really does not fit their narrative. And I think that they're throwing everything at this. This is more than McCarthy. It's what this is. It's an attempt to invoke the Insurrection Act, as you said. So what they're trying to do, there's two historical antecedents to pay attention to here. And I'm not saying that we only need to draw.
Anybody want to guess at the two things he's going to mention?
No, the Reichstag fire, maybe.
Bingo. And
that'll do it.
The beer hall putsch.
No, that would be the January 6th, I think, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. It's not the Kristallnacht.
Oh, okay.
From Europe, but they know these historical antecedents. The first is the Reichstag fire, when allegedly a communist burned down the German Reichstag, and Hitler used that. Hitler flooded the streets with Sturmabteilung, with his sort of official thugs, which is sort of equivalent to, analogous to what it looks like is happening with ICE. And then extreme voter intimidation happened. And then after the election, he passed the Enabling Act to take full power. So that seems to be a very clear antecedent here. And the other, of course, is Kristallnacht, when a German diplomat was assassinated in Paris by a Polish Jew, and they called for the targeting of Jewish shops and synagogues.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about, there are two arguments here. One is setting up for the Insurrection Act from a legal perspective, and one of the reasons...
So this is MSNBC. It's not a CNN. I was mistaken. It is a good thing that this is being discussed on a corporate news show.
Yeah.
Kind of surprising, honestly. But, I don't know how much they're doing that these days, because I gave up on them a long time ago. About the time
the thing is about the corporate news shows is that they have a very, very small audience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly older people who watch these things. Younger generations are not getting their news primarily from networks or cable channels. They're getting their news, what they call news, from TikTok, right, social media, Blue Sky, Twitter, Reddit, their friends, Instagram, that sort of stuff. That's where the real engagement is. And that's why, as Dane mentioned earlier, everyone having a camera in their pocket is making it harder for the right to just take over all media, because they could buy up every network and every channel, and everybody would still have a phone in their pocket.
And next week we're going to talk about that actually, or maybe not next week because it's the day after No Kings 2, so we probably will be covering that quite a bit. Hopefully nothing dramatic happens on that we have to really dive into. Maybe we can just cover the highlights and it'll be like, hey, look how many people showed up and how great it was.
Right? Wouldn't it be nice?
I wouldn't place a bet on that being the outcome. I mean, look, they're using so much. All of this, as he's saying, is just, and I think most people can see it, that what they're trying to do. Maybe they don't know that the full extent of their what seems to be their plan, which is just maintain power for fucking ever. But just to avoid, to be able to shut down dissent and so on and so forth. But the thing is, even if that is just a short-term goal, if they get a win on one thing, they're going to take that as, well, let's keep going. But I want to ask you guys real quick too. Why do you think that they're obeying the federal court, the judges, injunctions or whatever that block them from doing certain things? Why are they obeying that?
Because they are scared. They know this is why they're trying to rebrand No King's Day. They're terrified of public opinion. They know that if eventually they will start ignoring the court orders. That's inevitable. But for right now, they know that if they do that on something as consequential as like the National Guard in a city, people are going to hate them.
I also wonder if it's that, based on the reception of like the speech at Quantico Naval Base the other day, or Marine Base last week, with Hegseth and Trump, and how the military leadership seemed completely unimpressed with them, that there is a level of fuck you make me, of like, well, the courts say not to, so I'm not gonna, I don't wanna.
Yeah. So they're trying to do it backwards, right? One of the things and this is why I think it was Jamel Bowie called this cargo cult fascism, because they're doing the motions of fascism without doing the work beforehand. Like, one of the reasons that the Nazis and the Italian fascists were successful is because they built up public support first. They won the culture war first, basically, or not the culture war, but they got popular support and grassroots, like populist support for everything they were doing before they did Kristallnacht and the Reichstag fire and all that. These guys didn't do that. Like, the kind of rally that Kegsbreath and Trump held in front of the generals the other day is something that should have been done after they purged and murdered all of the officers who weren't loyal to them.
Right. I think part of the problem is that the modern American military is much bigger than the Wehrmacht was.
Yes.
That, you brought all those guys into one room and you didn't kill your enemies. I don't know what to tell you, man.
Yeah. Like Saddam Hussein famously did this one. This is a famous story about Saddam Hussein, and this is how you do fascism. He called all of his generals and diplomats into a room, and he himself physically murdered one of them.
Right.
In front of everyone else. And that's what you have to do to send that message. And these guys aren't doing that. And obviously they shouldn't do that, but they're going about it backwards.
I also don't think they would know how to do it even if they had to. Like, do I, Trump's whole, like, I could shoot someone on 6th Avenue and get away with it. The hindrance there is, I don't think Trump knows how to do it.
Yeah. Do you know how to use a gun? Do you know how to wipe your own ass?
Yeah. And really, if they want the military on their side, the last thing they should be doing is shutting down the government and not paying their troops, and now having like active duty military families showing up at food banks and causing them to run out of food by 10:30 in the morning because they didn't get paid and they can't afford food and medicine anymore. And try to take away the one thing Republicans are trying to do is take away commissaries from military bases
Yeah.
Which is like the grocery store on the base where all the troops and their families go to buy food and other groceries tax-free. They're trying to take that away. They're trying to eliminate commissaries
and replace them with like privately owned restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, and then they expect the troops to be on their side after that.
That's really the other thing that is working against them here. Is it's not completely, it's really, for many of them, not even ideological at all. It's just profit driven. They want to make fucking money. Now, yeah, that was a part of it for the fascists. You know, they knew that they would get the originals. They knew they would, you know, be taken care of. They'd have all the country's wealth in their pockets, and they, you know, have connections and basically tell the corporations what to do. But with these fuckers, it's just like they just see the fascism as a means to getting wealthy.
Right.
You know, if they thought that being a fucking progressive was the means to get wealthy, they'd do that. And it is if you're just like well, not progressive, but just not a liberal and a Democrat.
Liberal,
you know,
yeah.
Like
Well, I think
Nancy
this is why we've
Pelosi, she's
seen,
doing
like,
well for herself.
This is why we've seen all the tech CEOs switch to fascism, is because, like, for a while, being seen as liberal was more beneficial from their bottom line, and right now they think being fascist is better for their bottom line. Really not throwing all your money into the AI pit is probably better for your bottom line, but, like, you know, what do I know? I also think nothing has given away the fascists have never read The Art of War by Sun Tzu than this moment in time. Because, like, one of the big lessons from that is, yeah, if you don't feed your army, they're going to murder you.
Yeah. And so that's what I think. Some of them, I think, are starting to become keenly aware, and Curtis Yarvin is one of them, that the tribunals are awaiting them. And possibly before 2028.
Right.
That's how bad off they think they are. So if, like, they're Curtis Yarvin, for those who don't know, we've covered him on the podcast before, but Curtis Yarvin is the guy who is the intellectual
centerpiece
architect of, like, the tech bro fascism that's going on right now. His political philosophy is the one that Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and Larry Ellison and all these other ghouls follow. And that guy is publicly saying, I'm making plans to flee the country before 2028 because the tribunals are on the way. And by the way, all the leftists are getting all the pussy.
Right.
And or all the dick that they want. We failed because Trump didn't immediately do Holocaust Mark II on day one of his administration. So if the guy they all look to is terrified that he's going to literally lose his head before 2028, the rest of them are terrified too. And that's why they're obeying the court orders. And they may not be consciously aware of this fear, but they can sense it in the air, like we all did. There's been a vibe shift. And the sheer size of the No Kings 2 that's coming up, I think just terrifies the shit out of them.
Well,
and that explains
especially
why they're
because,
trying
like,
to do like all the gerrymandering and fucking around with the 2026 election, because they know they're going to lose if they have to fight fair.
Well, it's, you know, it's one of those things where, like, No Kings is not something I would say, as far as, like, the general demographics of No Kings, it is not people like the three of us. It is not political wonks who read lots of news from different sources and consume this stuff on a regular basis. It's fucking wine moms and small business owners who are getting hammered by these tariffs. It's people who have migrants in their communities and their workplaces. It's everybody. And this is why they're working at the last minute, because I don't think they realized how big this had gotten, to make this a Hate America protest when it is really a America doing an America protest.
Real quick, I by the way, I wanted to go back to when you mentioned the Keg's breath speech to the military generals, right? Whatnot. I want to show this clip real quick.
What are two clips that give off the same energy?
Move out and draw fire, because we are the War Department. Godspeed.
I love it.
Sexual chocolate. Yeah,
We
and
got
you
a
can
super chat
tell
from Sean.
from Keg's Brett's wrap up, you can tell he expected applause.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that smile on his face is like, this is my moment. This is fucking my
This is my
shining
moment.
perfect moment. I'll forever remember it, and I hope he does. Sean,
I
$10.
think
Thank
he
you, man.
drank so much that night he doesn't remember the week before.
Besides distraction, how much of this is to enrich themselves with crypto? It seems that Trump knows the more chaos he creates, the more crypto raises in value, which has, I mean, almost certainly that's a big thing for, I mean, certainly for Trump. That's all he's ever done is enrich himself and find shady ways to do that shit.
I mean, Trump is, and a lot of his allies are long-time pump and dump artists, and crypto is an incredibly efficient way to do a pump and dump. Because it is an unregulated market that he has helped keep unregulated and participates in, while also participates directly in as a person, on top of being the president, which you are, normally we have laws that say you can't do that. Unfortunately, there are no penalties for those laws.
Yeah, it's weird how we had all these laws and rules that presidents previously, obeyed or at least felt shame about. Nixon, jeez.
Right.
It's all of this is also to distract from the Epstein files.
That's another part of it.
That scares the shit out of the Republicans. There's been a lot of reporting lately about rumors. It's being reported as rumors and information from anonymous sources, staffers and such, that Republicans in Congress are being physically threatened by the administration about the Epstein files.
Well,
and they all know,
right,
that Trump is all over that.
Right.
I think Mike Johnson was answering somebody about it, and he kind of suggested that they will be released, basically. So they're going over stuff here and there. Basically what he said implies or indicates that probably what's happening is they know they have to eventually. They feel like they do. But what they're going to do is they're going to muddy the waters of so much, and probably, create so much bullshit around it and maybe even remove information. Who knows what they're really doing? But yeah, they're going to fuck it up. The release is not going to, they won't let it ever just come out. Be like, here's the files, whatever it says.
They're going to try to,
unfortunately, at this point, part of it, the narrative is the cover up, right? Is that it has gone unreleased for so long, and that Congress has been basically in recess almost nonstop since the middle of August to stop votes on this.
That's always what it is with them. It's never the crime itself really that becomes the big issue. Fucking Reagan and the Iran Contra. It was the fact that he lied about it.
Same thing with Nixon.
Yeah.
And I think that, right now, part of the reason they're not coming back to deal with the shutdown, and why they're like, oh, the Senate should just pass our bill, which is never going to happen, it is because if they did, they would have to swear in a Democrat who won a special election, because the person who won the election was the child of a member of Congress who died, and she's taking his seat. She won that in a special election, but she has to be sworn in. But she will be the 218th vote to release the Epstein files.
Yeah, and they will swear her in eventually. What they're trying to do is control the narrative. And
right.
I think they are not at all above redacting the name of every Republican and every Republican donor in the Epstein files and leaving it only the Democrats who are mentioned. That's what I think they're going to try to do.
That's what they'll try.
And I don't think they'll get away with that, because I'm relatively sure that there are still people inside the FBI and the DOJ who are quietly making copies of things, and not telling
I would
anyone.
not be surprised if we saw some malicious compliance in those releases. We've seen this before, where it's redacted, but it's redacted in the Word document that comes out, so you can just highlight the redaction and then change the font, and it will show you what it says.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of shit like the leak of the Epstein footage,
right,
of his jail cell door, where they left watermarks all over a specific moment in those that video where everyone who looked at it could see, oh, something was edited here.
Right.
They didn't. We're going to see a lot of that when the Epstein files are released. But the administration is going to try and control the narrative and say that, look, it's only Democrats. It was only ever Democrats. It was the Clintons all along.
And if there were ever any Republicans, they weren't doing anything wrong.
Yeah, they were all working undercover to try and bust this ring.
They're
That's
white
what
hats.
they were doing.
Get it?
Yeah.
QAnon. I'm doing QAnon stuff, guys. Yeah. Yep. Let's finish off this video because it's only a couple of minutes that I recorded, but I felt like Jason Stanley had some good stuff to say. So
our reporting indicates that it hasn't been done yet because Donald Trump toyed with this in his first administration after the George Floyd protests, is because his legal advisors told him it won't hold up. So they're still working on that. What's the benefit of casting dissents, whether it's journalists or nonprofits?
$5 for Super Jones Bros.
Whoa. Thank you, Super Jonas Bros.
Thank you, Super Jones Bros.
It's 2025 and GOP influencers are still harping on the pandemic. 99% of society is fucking tired of 2020. Stop beating an unalived horse. Holy crap. Well, yes. At the same time, COVID still exists.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that they don't give a shit about COVID.
They don't know.
I am reminding you that just because we're tired of COVID having been a thing doesn't mean that we can pretend like it's not still a thing. It is.
Get your COVID boosters. If
and
you
then,
can, get them.
But I mean, that's another thing too. Trump's that's like the one universal thing that pretty much everybody, would have been like, yeah, Trump got those, eventually got around to getting those vaccines out. It worked pretty well. You know what I mean? But that was also because it was a system that has nothing to do with Trump. It was already in place. Right. You just had to say go. But that still, I was willing to say, look, that did begin under his watch. So cool.
Right.
And he's, trying to undermine that while at the same time.
He bragged about it. He bragged about it for years. Years. Yeah.
And now his tune has changed because it's the same playbook that the Republicans ran with Obama in 2012, when there had just been enough time for people to forget exactly who was president in 2008, because okay, who ran for president in 2008, who won the election? Oh, well, that was Barack Obama. So who was president in 2008? George W. Bush. Biden won the 2020 election, but Trump was president during all of that. And they have to pretend like it was Biden because, who was pushing all the lockdowns? Well, Trump was, because it was the right thing to do. But now, it's not politically correct if you're a Republican to think that saving lives is good.
Quite the opposite. Yeah. It's
right.
That's cut
because
shit.
It's a death call.
Yep.
Because they're fascists.
Yep.
And that's a key tenet of fascism.
Terrorists. What does that do? And going back to the Reichstag fire, what help is it?
Hold on. I can't look. This is misinformation. It's not from long COVID. Okay, it's either from decades of mold exposure or, just as likely, spiritual assault
warfare.
Spiritual warfare. So don't no, it's probably almost certainly long COVID. It seems like that's what they're describing.
That's probably yeah.
That would make him
if it
weak.
was long-term mold exposure, that would explain some of his cognitive issues.
Do you know what both of those things, the reasons that Michaela, by the way, anybody's not aware, Michaela Peterson put out a video saying her dad's basically on death's doorstep. He's not been doing well for a while. And she says it's either from decades of mold exposure or spiritual warfare, whatever the fuck that means. But both of those things, neither make it his fault. Neither of them have anything, not even anything to do with his body just deciding to be sick, right? Both of those are he's either a victim of some others, whoever owned this building or whatever, their mold, they didn't clean the mold out, or somebody assaulted him with spirits or whatever. I don't know.
Right. It was those Etsy witches, the same ones that got somebody else recently.
Oh yeah. They kirked that one guy. I don't remember his name though. Yeah. Anyway, so it's just stupid. Hey, look, I've said it before, and I got in a lot of trouble for it. I got in a lot of trouble for saying, unfortunately, he didn't die when he was in that coma in Russia. And I got that more backlash than I've ever gotten.
Got a lot of backlash for that.
It's a lot. Even Michaela Peterson herself commented. It was crazy. But yeah, I don't care if he fucking dies, man. I don't. He doesn't matter anymore. He literally. When was the last time Jordan Peterson has even mattered? He did not come out of that coma the same guy. I'll say that.
You know what? Didn't Elon Musk sit for a very embarrassing interview with him?
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing that happened.
Yeah, we covered that. That was like the
We
most
did.
high profile thing that he's done post fucking, other than, being, he was on the case when it came to those fucking Chinese milking factories.
I forgot about Chinese milking porn.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's Robert Evans was a legend for that. He's a legend for a lot of things, that in particular. Good stuff.
Also, he got very upset about being the Red Skull.
That's true. Well, that's the thing I made the video about.
That's
I was
true.
like, look, if I didn't know any better, I would have just been reading this like, this is a fucking great they're writing Red Skull really well. I did know where the words were coming from, but it fit. It actually was oddly prescient and relevant to the times. Anyway, let's go back to this.
To convince the public of this.
Well, I think they're actually moving. They're not successfully convincing the public. I think they're trying to convince the public, but I think they're going to do it anyway because they're treating the domestic political opposition, the Democrats, as what did Stephen Miller call them? A domestic extremist organization, I think he said. So they're going to try to act on that anyway. That's what they're going to push on. It's not just as the Nazis called the Social Democrats Marxists and communists, they're going to call the Democratic Party, Democratic politicians, radical left. In fact, there's not much radical left in the United States, of course, and they're trying to broaden that to a...
Was he laughing at us? Don't laugh at us, man. We're here. We're here.
We exist, technically.
It certainly include anyone who calls them a fascist. So they're really trying to say anyone who quite accurately calls them a fascist, because what is it to claim that anyone who calls you a fascist is a terrorist and needs to be arrested? That looks like fascism. So they're saying they have this incredible...
I will say this: the last time I watched a video interview of Jason Stanley, his tone was much grimmer. So it's kind of giving me a little bit of hope here that he's so just like, he's doing a little joke and he's goofing off because it is goofy. But like, he didn't seem so he was one of those several of those fascism experts basically that put out a video saying we're experts on fascism and we're leaving the country.
Right.
It was kind of big.
One of those guys was actually in the middle of leaving the country with his family, and their flights got canceled last minute when they were at the airport. In between them checking in and their flight leaving. Last I heard, they were still trying to get out of the country.
Whoa.
And having some technical difficulties.
Incredibly broad net of who counts as a terrorist, of who counts as an extremist, and they're going to use that to justify it, but they're going to try to do it whether or not the public is going along with it. And what we're seeing is the public is not going along with it, and that is very...
It's like a rapist who's like gonna try and get you to consent first, but he's gonna rape you anyway. That's what this is like. Come on, baby, you want to? No, I don't. Come on, you want to? I'm gonna do it anyway. That kind of thing.
Yeah. So apropos of nothing, I just noticed that the Chiron on this video has misspelled the word administration.
Oh,
you're right.
Did someone from the Trump administration write this? Hey,
it's been bothering me the whole time.
That's funny.
But he's right. People are not going along with it because we all have cameras in our pockets, and we, even if they take away every social media platform, we can all just still text photos and pictures to each other and videos to each other. And I don't know if Jason Stanley's ever addressed this, but I think one other thing, we have two big advantages over fascism Mark I. The first is the culture of fuck you, make me. And the other one is that almost every authoritarian regime in the 20th century was propped up by a global hegemon like the United States or the Soviet Union, which is why it was so hard to dislodge them. But there is no global hegemon backing us up.
Right.
If the Trump regime starts to collapse, there's no bailout from a foreign ally coming to save
Putin,
them.
right? Because Putin's not going to save him.
Putin can't
Yeah.
afford it, even if he wanted to, which I don't think he does.
They're
He can't
about
afford
to
it.
have a
They're-
gas crisis of epic proportions this winter in
Mhm.
Russia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because of the fucking war, because of Ukraine.
Mhm.
Just fucking leave, dude. Like that's how you know that this is how you know when a leader is actually insane. You know what I mean? Just
Right.
fucking. They're not like they're making mistakes and trying to do some policy that you think is bad or whatever. They're just actually fucking insane. Their brains aren't working right. The thing that they're doing is having a cost that absolutely will destroy not only lives but probably their political career. And yeah.
Well, I think the thing Putin is running into is that the outside of the pretext for the war, which was honestly incoherent. The reason they did it is because Ukraine has a lot of fertile land. It is kind of a breadbasket, and Russia needs the food because food prices in Russia are terrifyingly expensive.
That's the practical real reason. I mean, you know,
That's
there's
the
also
real
just, it does seem to be true that Putin is actually insane and does believe and has believed since probably he was a young man, that Russia needs to be restored to its original glory, not USSR's, but prior to that, which is actually insane.
Yeah,
So much.
The big
There's so
speech
much
he
fucking-
gave. The big speech he gave before invading Ukraine was basically that Ukraine is not a real country.
Right.
It's just Russia, and we're going to take it back. Yeah.
And now he's like, the thing is like, even if he is sane, let's say when he decided to go to war with Ukraine because they need the food. Well, now he's stuck the fuck in. If he ends the war, right? If he surrenders, and it won't be couched as a surrender if he does it, if he does surrender, but if he withdraws from hostilities, whatever form that takes, he will be eaten alive internally because he has enough rivals and people under him who would love to take a crack at having his job and having his power that he would not survive surrender.
Yeah,
because that's the conditions they create, or that's how it's been since prior to the dissolution of the USSR.
Right.
Yeah. People forgot about the story that happened near the beginning of the Ukraine war of that Russian general who was bringing a whole brigade of troops towards Moscow to try and dislodge Putin, and they stopped him at the last minute by bribing him, basically.
And they killed him.
Well, yeah, they killed him, but they killed him. Oh, they bribed his men. That's what they did.
Depending on the version of the story, it's probably both. They bribed some of the commanders, and they also threatened the families of some of the commanders.
Yeah, but that guy is almost certainly not the only one.
No.
So if Putin shows any weakness at all, they're going to come for him.
They're going to come.
And there's no global hegemon to bail him out either.
Right.
So that's our status as a global hegemon might be the thing that saves us. Because when the Trump regime collapses, and it will collapse at some point, even if he just like biology catches up with him,
right,
there's no one to save them.
No. Well, I think one of the things that has kept Putin in power and kept the war going is a hegemonic power in China, right? Like they are arming the Russian military. They are working out deals with the North Koreans so that Russians can employ North Korean soldiers that have been, seen and captured in Ukraine. China's brokering all of that, but that's not going to be enough to save Russia because why would they?
Don't know.
Because then their companies can come up and buy all the Russian oil and Russian gas and sell that to the Europeans for oodles and oodles of money.
It could look like any number of things. You talking about the collapse of the administration, the regime, or the collapse of the country, Mikey? Because we're kind of already in like a slow collapse.
We are in it. If outside of the tech sector, the American economy is in a recession. Basically, the big 6 tech companies are the only reason that it looks like our economy is not in a recession. But even then, that's because these companies are borrowing money at unimaginable.
We got a giant AI bubble right around the corner, just any fucking moment now that's going to bring all that crashing down as well.
Right.
It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy that, honestly. Like, welcome to the fucking shithole, guys. You know.
Oh, the horror stories I could tell.
It's gonna suck. I mean,
it's gonna suck.
We need to like get everybody understanding this, that Trump will fail, the regime will collapse eventually, but it's gonna suck.
It's gonna suck
for everybody else for a long time before that, during that, and after that. We have to be prepared for that. But they will fail. Just take hope in that. We're already seeing them fail.
I think one thing that needs to happen, if we have a democratic transfer of power, we need to fundamentally reform the Supreme Court.
Yeah,
we need to reform the entire government.
The entire government,
probably,
but
probably the entire Constitution. Honestly,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've if nothing else, yeah, we absolutely, that's the absolutely necessary, because we fucking see now how it, you know, it's honestly kind of impressive. For nearly 250 years, we got by without anybody going, but what if I didn't do this stuff that you wrote the rules about? Or what if I did something against these rules? Nobody really tried that hard to, you know, at least in the executive branch, you know, had Nixon and Reagan, a few people here and there kind of pushed the boundaries a bit, but nobody ever just tried to just destroy the fucking structures, foundations of everything. And so now that we know it's possible, and that there are motherfuckers out there like this, we do have to reinforce this shit.
Right.
And yeah, make sure that everybody knows I mean, sadly, I hope it happens, but I don't know if anything's ever really going to happen to Trump. I wish for no other reason than just to show this is not good. You don't do this shit, man. You know what I mean?
Trump himself will never face justice. Biology is going to get rid of him before anything else. But
it's not even gonna, you know, maybe we'll get lucky and he'll get Gaddafi'd or something, right? But we probably not.
Probably not. But a lot, like one of the reasons they're wearing masks at ICE is because they know they will be held accountable for this one day if their identities are known.
Right.
It's
sets
insurance
me up.
against
So
that.
I got two more clips that I want to look at before we get out of here.
Sure.
This next one is another distressing one. It is upsetting. It is ICE. And then one after that is just kind of a clip from administration had their meeting where they're like, hey guys, we promise Antifa's real. We promise situation. And then we have a surprise interview. We have a very special interview guest that I think you guys will appreciate. So here's this first. And just to kind of spoil the ending, they took her in, put her in a van, let her out the same day with no charges.
Right. They just wanted to make a scene.
This is just intimidation tactics.
Yeah.
I got you.
Do you really think this woman was doing something worthy of being thrown on the ground and arrested? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I doubt it. She literally works for the local WGN, you know,
affiliate.
Yeah.
Well, look, like, you know, this is one of those things that, like, the line of the administration has been that ICE is going after criminals, illegal immigrant criminals, right? That's what they sold their base on. That's what their base thinks is being done. That woman is white as the driven snow.
Yeah.
And she sounds like someone from Illinois. She is not who they say they're going after, but this is going to increasingly happen.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason they're not going into neighborhoods controlled by actual
gangs
who are composed of, I mean, there are some so-called illegal aliens in the country who are members of criminal gangs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But most of the criminal gangs are citizens. But there's a reason these gravy seals right here are not going into those areas, because those areas have a lot of guns and will shoot back.
And they are,
that's why they're picking on defenseless people.
They do not want to actually face any potential consequences for doing what they're doing. That's the masks. That's the known. I thought I had another video. I guess I don't know where it is, but there was a video the guy took of. So apparently he got pulled over after coming up behind a vehicle that he believed or was accurately he saw was ICE guys, and they were going through the neighborhood or whatever, kind of blowing through stop signs and shit. And he kind of ran up behind him on a stop sign, honked his horn, and then left. And they followed him. Then he gets out of his car and he starts filming. And they're like, "What are you doing, man? What are you following us for and honking?" And he's like, "Well, because I'm just letting people know you guys are here. You know, you guys are running through stop signs, and there's kids around here. You're also just like kidnapping people. So yeah, I want to let my community know that you're here."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, you got to stop doing that, man. You can't do that." And of course, they're wearing masks. There's no identification anywhere.
Right.
And this guy's asked him, he's like, "Well, what do you guys? Can you guys identify yourselves? Who are you with?" He's like, "Our identification's right here on our vest, and it's just a number." Which I guess is a way for them to be identified internally, but that doesn't do any good for people. Well, in fact, this guy said a minute ago, I was trying to remember which one was which. So this one, so there's so many ICE videos, guys.
There's a lot.
This guy says something about them wearing masks, and guess what they say?
What are they? Oh, it's COVID.
It was like, "Well, you were perfectly fine wearing masks a few years ago." So literally, they believe in nothing. They will use the what they believe to be other people's logic to rationalize their own bullshit. That's it. They're I'm going to stop short of saying that they barely qualify as people. Shit, I said it.
Well, you said you weren't going to say it, so you didn't technically say it.
If I was a cynical man, I would say that they barely qualify as people.
I would say they are human debris. Like, they are human, but they're just kind of garbage people who get in everybody's way and make life worse for the rest of us.
If you look at them with a tool of science, like if you look at their blood or their insides with some kind of
no,
I'm just saying that they look the same as anybody else, right?
That's true.
If you look at them with some sort of moral microscope, some kind of moral microscope, no, not so much.
They have no morals whatsoever.
We really need to get some phrenology on these guys. Find out what their skull shape is.
Oh god!
Measure these heads. I'll say this: I bet they're generally larger, fatter heads than other people.
Yeah.
Not for any kind of reason other than just like they're fat assholes. And
they're literally just hiring people and giving them no training. Like, you show up for your
phrenology for guts, for like beer guts. That's what it needs to get.
Yeah, that is racist against the people of the great state of Wisconsin.
It's racist against basically every man in my family prior to me as well. So. They're cavemen. Yeah, they are men technically, but they are cavemen, right? Probably a lot of them, or none at all. Maybe a lot of them are probably guys that just kind of have fantasized about being cops before and never even tried.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys who could keep a mall security job.
Yeah, you can tell by if you look at a lot of the video, there's videos floating around of these guys pointing their guns in people's faces, like close-ups. You can tell by their trigger discipline that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know how to handle a gun, and that's what makes them scary and dangerous. But it also makes them incompetent.
Yeah, if there is going to be a moment in between ICE and police that gets violent, it's going to be because that ICE fires live rounds into police, and police training is such that they're going to fire back at ICE, and it's going to be bad.
I want to call
for everyone.
This last part here. What happens when they drive off?
Oh, they hit that guy. Fucking hell.
You think Trump's going to pay for that? Maybe? Or
nope.
No.
But they can't catch a guy on a bicycle. True. They cannot.
What's your name?
So there's that. Honestly, they're probably more likely the ones that were caught.
Probably.
Some of them, almost certainly. You don't jump at a chance to have a fucking meager amount of power like this without having over representation of fucking probable rapists and sexual assaulters among that population. It's just certain to be the case, I believe.
Look at how many J6ers were let out by Trump only to get rearrested for CSA.
Yep.
There's a reason for that. So I think one thing we should do while we're here talking about fascism and, you know, the Trump administration, the regime demonizing what they call Antifa. If someone in, you know, talks about Antifa this, just say, correct them and go, anti-fascism.
Yes.
That person isn't Antifa, they're anti-fascist.
This is seemingly an arbitrary but actually brilliant distinction.
Important distinction, and we need to do it.
Because it's easy
make them
for them
argue
to,
against it.
Yeah. In fact, in the later on in the clip that we're going to look at a bit from here in a minute, this is their meeting they had. It had Keg's Breath and ugly gnome lady, and Trump was there with half his face asleep because he had a stroke. You know, they're sitting there talking about Antifa's a real thing and blah blah. And Pete's like, you know, this organization, they have roots going back as far as Weimar Germany.
Huh.
It's like, wait a second, dude. What do you mean there? What was going on in that time period that maybe that what were they doing? Who were they?
Yeah.
Who was Antifa against in Weimar Germany? You know, so in a tacit like implication way, they did admit that, yeah, they fought Nazis. That's what they've always done. I was looking for I couldn't find it. I just need to do a video on it, honestly. I've put it off before. I've tried to do it on a stream and kind of gotten into it a little bit over the years, but I need to just make a dedicated video with my using my Antifa comic book as the source. It is a brilliant piece of literature. I forget the guy that did it, but it's comic book literally that just tells you the history of Antifa, and and you know, literally shows that it's not an organization, or is it? Because check out this. We got from that same clip here that I was just talking about. Kristi Noem, she drops a bombshell.
Wow. We have been so bold in making sure we're bringing those individuals to justice. One of the individuals we arrested recently in Portland was the girlfriend of one of the founders of Antifa.
Whoa.
She's got to be over 100 years old.
Yeah. Yeah. And we actually have her here for an interview.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. Give me a minute. I got to go help her get online because she's, you know, kind of not used to this stuff. I got to help her figure out how to sign in into StreamYard and all that shit. So give me a few minutes.
Okay. Yeah. We'll get you get it. Take care of.
Yeah, she's an old lady. She's not used to this new technology and stuff.
Right.
It's like magic to her. So
she's going to need some help. Technology is.
Yeah, she's got to be 120 if she's
minimum
a day old. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting news that we arrested the ex-girlfriend of the founder of Antifa. Because
I think her name might be ANTIFA. Is that? I know another Tifa who's an anti-fascist, famous.
I was hoping her name was Antifa Lockhart, but
there you go.
You know, because that's who I have in my my avatar.
I see that. Oh yeah, there you go.
Antifa Lockhart is bae. Call me really Antifa Lockhart.
Okay.
DM me, comrade Antifa Lockhart. Anyway, it's so weird. Who were the Fa in Weimar Germany?
Yeah, who indeed. So one thing I've had fun doing the last week or so is whenever a chud crosses my existence, I respond to them as though I were Robin from the 60s Batman show. Just because how often is Robin either an idiot or moralizing, he's just the moral lesson of the episode. And so it's just we're gonna do that. Wow, what does your mother think about that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Wait, it just occurred to me that the girlfriend of the founder of Antifa could be Diana, Princess of Themyscira.
Oh, that's true. She's that old.
So maybe we're about to get visited by the most beautiful woman who has ever existed.
That's true. Literally shaped by the gods.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Are you my grandson?
No, I'm your great granddaughter.
Jimmy.
I know I changed my name.
Oh. Okay. Hi.
Hi, how are you? It's so good to have you here.
Nobody visits me home anymore.
Well, that's because you're in Germany.
Oh,
Well, I understand you were recently arrested. I'm sure that was a very harrowing experience for you. What? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I was detained by a very strange woman with too much face. Just so much
Were there
face.
any dogs with you? Is your dog okay?
She murdered 3 dogs.
Oh no!
Just on the way. Like we didn't even have to do that. She didn't have to do that.
They were
She
war
didn't
dogs,
keep
though,
Spot
right?
from you, right? Your emotional support animal. Spot's okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Where am I?
Well, from what we've been told in the
On the
news, you're
internet.
currently in jail. You're in custody for
What?
having been the girlfriend of the founder of Antifa.
Oh, yes.
Well, actually, we activated our Antifa super soldiers to free you, to spring you, and now you're in an undisclosed location.
Why do these people think Antifa is bad?
I don't know, but I would like to hear a little bit about the founder of Antifa, your ex-boyfriend, because he sounds like a real Adonis of a man.
He makes, when I think about him, I get a little moist in my dry spot.
I don't blame you.
There's nothing on God green earth better than getting dick down raw by an anti-fascist.
Are you telling me that Antifa is anti-fascists?
Oh yes.
And how did the organization begin?
Well, there were these guys that, there's always assholes around, but at one point the assholes decided to make it official.
Well, that's
and
unfortunate.
they wanted to run Italy. This one asshole, he became lead asshole. We started around there. You just kind of saying, "Hey, you asshole, don't be an asshole." That's about it.
It's really that simple, huh?
Yeah, they got pretty rough, but that's because they're assholes, and sometimes you just need to be an asshole back at them.
Did your ex-boyfriend ever punch Hitler?
Oh, nobody donkey punched me on a regular basis. Oh yeah. I'm gonna go have my meds now.
All right. Goodbye.
Well, that was an insightful and scintillating interview with a lot of historical perspicacity. I'm glad we had
Edith
that.
was able to join us. Thank you, Auntie Edith.
Comrade Auntie Edith. May she live to be 220.
Oh yeah, for sure. May Antifa never die.
Truly.
Welcome back,
sorry.
Dane. Are you? Yeah.
Yeah, I got held up. I had to, the people at the home were asking about the whole situation with the murdered dogs and stuff. I had to let them know what's going on.
Sure, right. It's
been a weird day.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Well, I'm sure that Auntie Edith knows several hand-to-hand unarmed combat skills that she learned from her ex-boyfriend that are going to serve her well.
I mean, look, you didn't get to meet this woman like I did, right? Like the thing is that I believe that she could go toe to toe with probably almost every individual in the Trump administration.
Probably.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They're all pussies. So.
Oh yeah. They all.
She even said they're all pussies right before she started talking about her pussy. It was really weird. But
she's very into, maybe this is why Curtis Yarvin is very afraid of anti-fascists getting all the sex.
Yeah.
Is because we get all the sex.
Can you imagine being Curtis Yarvin? I mean, don't try that, but he's rich and he's presumably got a bunch of people that are, that respect him for some reason. But he kind of implied in his letter that he still can't get laid.
Yeah, right. This guy is getting he's absolutely maidenless.
Yeah, his column where he complained about needing to flee the country. He says that what he's trying to do is insult leftists. He's saying something to the effect of, we are like the Islamists because we have instant martyrdom and instant status as a hero awaiting us for engaging in our terrorist activities. But the difference is that we get the harem of virgins in the real world, because by being anti-fascist, we become heroes, and we suddenly are supplied with all of the pussy and or dick that we want.
Wait, hold on. So that would mean that in his mind, heroes get sex,
Mhm.
and not heroes don't get sex.
Yeah.
Because even like he doesn't like the Muslims, but he says they don't get their sex here; they get it over there in heaven, right? But we get it here,
Yeah.
where heroes get it. So he knows he's the bad guy, right? Like in his own
right.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's just utterly delusional. Like that is,
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
no,
I
absolutely.
wonder if he actually believes that, or if he's just doing propaganda. Hard to know
Well,
with an accelerationist because they don't
hard to know
fucking
with
believe in
that guy.
anything.
Yeah. Well, his point was that there's no harems waiting for anyone from his political persuasion, which is why they're going to lose. Because if they go out and do something accelerationist, they don't get a legion of horny young people who want to be with them, but us leftists do. So
Hey, why does it? He just needs to do like conservatives have done since time immemorial. If you want a virgin,
You gonna let that-
never mind. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yep.
All
They
right.
rape children.
that.
Yeah.
That's typically speaking. Yeah. Release the
They
pen
put, they put
But I
grown,
mean, like,
they
it
put
does
grown
seem like
women.
he's-
I was going to say they put grown women in shackles and they get them while they're young.
Yep.
Thanks, Matt Walsh.
And then, those women go on to probably have very depressing lives. Or maybe not. I'm sure there's some of them that are just fine with it. Who knows? But yeah, to be so maidenless is what a shame. And then, but it does seem like he's in some ways they project so much. But I mean, him being, I guess, allegedly smarter. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he does cultivate the, going into battle dressed as the cool youth pastor look. So that's supposed to get him girls.
True.
Like when you're the youth pastor, you have your pick of girl, and I mean girls, not women.
Right, not
That's
women.
the idea, right? And it's not working for him. He can't figure out why.
Probably because he's not a pastor. Oh. Yeah. Look at this guy.
But maybe the answer to why you're not getting laid is a bit simpler than you think, buddy.
I mean,
the
look,
stylist.
Antifa, I'm sorry, but this is what peak masculine performance looks like. You just have to accept that.
But he grew his hair long. He saw that they're the hippies. They used to get laid all the time with long hair. Anyway,
Now you know what I'm waiting for? God damn it, Dane.
What's that?
I'm waiting for him to flee the country and then get transvestigated by TERFs.
Oh man.
That will when I see that, I am gonna like uncork a bottle of champagne and just like roll out the mission accomplished banner.
It would surprise me if he hasn't already been transvestigated somewhere.
Oh, I hope so.
Because I
need
think
to
we
get
all
J.K.
have.
Rowling on
He did look like he had some titties a little bit. So
Yeah. And I mean, at this point in time, I think everyone in existence has been transvestigated by someone.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if you're not, then you're not really doing much, are you? You know what I mean?
You live in you're my brother. You live in a hole.
So, anything else anybody wanted to discuss before we get out of here?
Peacemaker? We could talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
That was on the agenda at some point.
I'm still baking it in the noodle. I'm still trying to decide. I mean, I think I'm okay with it generally. I will say that I was not like super hyped to watch each episode every week, except for that I knew what I was like. We figured out what the reveal was going to be early on, so I was kind of just like, when's that going to happen? When's that going to happen? And other than that, it was not like first season where I was like, this show is fucking surprisingly great, and you know what I mean. And there's a few reasons for that. I know that you've got a video coming out for it.
Oh
yeah, I'm working on it right now. I've recorded the script for it just before this stream, so it should be out this week sometime.
Sweet.
But it's not directly about the discourse. It's around the discourse that the show. There's a cat bothering me. Hold on.
So yes, this is great. I mean, look, I will take pleasure in this motherfucker's death. Fuck him, dude. Like, fuck this piece of shit. He's gone, died in prison. Couldn't have happened to a better person, but actually, he's a huge piece of shit. Outside of
that's why it couldn't happen to a better person. A better person wouldn't die for being him.
Outside of Jeffrey Epstein, he is the worst. Has the worst history that I'm aware of. I'm sure there's other people that I don't want to know of, but like the details of his crimes are so fucking enraging that and disgusting that he was, you know, whereas Epstein, you know, I'm sure he obviously was getting pleasure out of it, but it seems to be like because he was doing it for a power thing. With this guy, it seemed like he just enjoyed fucking hurting children and their mothers, and it's fucking gross. He was a singer of a band that had a couple of songs pop off a little bit in the UK in the early 2000s. And then he got busted, and man, what a piece of shit. Anyway, fuck him. He's dead.
Fuck him, he's dead.
So anyway, Peacemaker. The one thing I was going to say before this cat rudely interrupted me was that,
hey man,
I think it was, yeah.
You're a hep cat. It's fine.
I think a lot of people are misreading the intent of the Nazi world thing.
Yeah.
And we're expecting, like, I think a lot of the fan speculation about what was going to happen created expectations in people's minds that James Gunn never actually promised.
That's the story over and over again with fan expectations, it seems like.
Yeah. And they're all missing the point of what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this wasn't a world building season. He wasn't introducing Nazi world as part of the future of the DCU. It was put there to reflect the emotional journey of Peacemaker,
100%.
which was a reflection on how, if you think about this, if you've watched the whole season, spoilers, his emotional journey is basically a model of how lonely white men get radicalized into far right politics.
Yeah.
That's what was happening to Chris in this show, because he was so focused on his own loneliness.
Didn't even notice the fucking Hitler mural.
Right.
That's okay. So
Right.
I watched several episodes of the podcast as the season was going on. I actually enjoyed that. Not more, but like it definitely made me appreciate the show more. But I wouldn't expect everybody to do that to just get more enjoyment. Anyway, so I know that you're right. He did say that in recent years we've had a lot of multiverse stuff come out, and he said that's fun. It can be fun, but what he hadn't seen was that used as a vehicle for truly exploring the character and like what can we learn from the character, what can he experience, whatnot, relationships, because it's all just done for like, you know, oh look, another world where things are crazy and different. And so yeah, that you didn't see anything outside of what was necessary really to tell the story that it was about Christopher Smith. And yeah, and so I understand that. And I actually give him a pass for the structure of the season, which I think some people took issue with. The finale being so almost disconnected in a way, but not really. It's just more like the result of everything, which is what a finale should be. But
the finale was an epilogue.
Yeah.
Yeah. The climax was episode 7.
Right. So I do think one thing that I haven't seen discussed is there is a through line from Earth X into Earth 1.
Yeah.
And that is, we see fascism in Earth 1 with Flag Senior.
Uh-huh.
He recruits all of Luthor's people. He sacrifices his own people. He doesn't give a fucking shit about them to find a place to dump what he's selling as, you know, he's scapegoating metahumans as a danger. But really, all he wants to do is send fucking Peacemaker there.
He wants to go after his enemies.
Right. He wants he's created a scapegoat to justify spending lives and resources and freeing criminals. Because they use a lot of the same cast from Superman.
Yep.
Playing the same characters they played in Superman as
Lex basically Luthor's at the end, basically Flag's entire organization is now Lex Luthor employees. And
well, the way he
thinks he's outsmarted Luthor, and he hasn't.
He has
in the way that they the thing he said after the episode that had Lex Luthor in it, whenever they left the prison, and he says the line specifically was like, that was what, like, oh, that's not fucking good. The way he says it is like, not that we have to do a favor for Lex Luthor, that would have been understandable. It was, we're now working with Lex Luthor,
right?
Which is like, wait, what?
Yeah. That means you're working for Lex Luthor,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're not smarter than Lex Luthor. Yeah. So anyway, that what all the stuff I just said is not what my video is about. My video is about the discourse around Nazi world and the interesting questions it raises about what it means to be a good person when you are the receiver of privilege from an oppressive system.
So you're going into the Augie situation? Because I hope so.
Yeah. Yes. Augie versus Vigilante 2, Augie 2 versus Vigilante 2, because they could have left it with Augie's little speech about, I can't change the system by myself, so I focus on the dangers that are right in front of me, and I save the people who are in front of me, and I'm sure you fight every injustice, etc., etc. And then they also showed us Vigilante 2, who also has a family to risk and is also a white man privileged by the system, who chose to join the Sons of Liberty and fight the Nazis directly. And so it's James Gunn put that contrast in there so that we wouldn't have an easy answer to the question.
Right.
Well, so I think it's to say that, for one thing, anybody that tries to say, "Oh, they said that the Nazi Augie's a good guy in this one," because he's not a Nazi. He's not a good guy. He's not a better guy. He is a recipient of privilege that has justified to himself why he
is better than the Nazis that rule his world. That does not make him a good guy. Just better than the bad guys.
He's privileged enough to go, I don't like what they're doing, man, but okay, I'm going to go home and drink some beer with my sons and whatnot.
Well, he's not that bad. There's a spectrum. There's people who acknowledge the problem exists and do nothing. Then there's people like Augie who acknowledge the problem exists and they have privilege, but they choose to only focus on problems they can directly affect and where they have nothing to lose. And then there's Vigilante, who is willing to risk his entire family's lives without telling them about it, which is the moral problem with what he's doing.
Right.
So all of those positions have things to recommend them and things that are deeply problematic about them. And
because there's no easy answers in these situations, right?
Yeah.
And you also look at the generational difference between Augie 2 and Vigilante 2, right? Where necessarily if this is a world, which we don't know the actual history because a lot of world building wasn't done, if this is a world where Nazis won World War II, that would mean that Augie would have grown up in the first generation or two after the Nazi takeover.
Yeah.
And so that would have been a more recent wound in the people's psyche, where it's a little more entrenched and calcified.
Yeah.
Which creates that compare and contrast between him and Vigilante 2.
Yeah, because his son Keith whipped up a lynch mob against Adebayo.
Well, so I want to address this because this is something I just disagree with the criticism that because they didn't show this that's somehow irresponsible or something, because maybe we'll talk about it on the Shillcast this week or something, but I don't think that's accurate because of the fact that you have critical drinker and stuff out there saying, oh, they showed us this supposedly bad Nazi world, but everything looked fine, everybody's happy and stuff. No, the people you can see, sure, they appear happy, because if they don't, then they might get in trouble. Sons of Liberty literally are people that aren't happy with the situation and they're criminals. But point being that there's no world you know that Nazis are bad. You know that whatever's happening in wherever the people of color and the queer people, whatever, wherever they are, it's not fucking good. I don't think that this show would have benefited. I don't think that they would have been more responsible to show mass graves, to show people in prisons. I think for me, the line that Keith says was enough. It was disturbing because my imagination ran wild. Was one got out. What the fuck? Literally talking about like a fucking, there's a fucking giraffe escaped from the zoo, but no, it's a black woman.
Well, and I wonder if, and this, this goes to a lack of world building, so this is entirely fan fiction. There are two parts to fascism. There is the xenophobia, the fear of the other, right? They have to catch the black woman, right? Because one, quote unquote, one got out. But also the fear of repercussion for the state. They can't let her go. It's all of their problem because the state will engage in collective punishment, which is a core precept of fascism and one we're seeing play out in America today, right? They are as much, attacking her and chasing her because of who she is, but also because what it means if they don't. Yeah.
But also, I want to say that comment from Harrison James ties into the point I made earlier that the Nazi world story was not the point of the season. It was just a plot device to facilitate Peacemaker's emotional journey. And the fact that all the discourse zeroed in on oh my God, are we going to see Overman? Oh my God, is this Earth X? Oh my God, is James Gunn setting up? Like, that's all beside the point. And it's a misreading of, I'm not saying it's a misreading of James Gunn's intent.
Is somebody messing with their microphone?
I don't know.
Sounds like Bob, you're having some mic issues.
Am I?
Or somebody is. I don't know.
Somebody
It
it
stopped.
looked like it.
I don't hear anything. What are you hearing?
Like someone
It
tapping
was-
a mic.
Yeah, and then actually after a minute, I heard it kind of has a digital element to it, so I don't think it is a physical thing, but it kind of sounded like it.
Oh,
But anyway,
weird.
It's gone.
Okay. But anyway, just to wrap up that point, it's a misreading of James Gunn's intent to think that the story was setting up Earth X as anything more than a mirror for Christopher Smith's emotional journey. And authorial intent is not the sole meaning of a text by any means. But a lot of people seem to think that that was James Gunn's intent and he just messed it up
No.
rather than looking at what he was actually trying to do.
It doesn't. We know. I don't know how many times do you need to see what fascists, what Nazis do. You know what I mean? Like we know what that would look like. What's more important is the characters of this story, such as Adebayo and Judo Master, having the conversation they had.
Yeah, I think that's probably my highlight scene for the show or for the season is their conversation when they're hiding out in that house. And it sort of gets, Judo Master, like, because he is not a big fan of Peacemaker, to be like, to back their story when they all come back to
spoiler
Earth One.
alert, and then join their team.
Join their team when Rick Flag Sr. goes off the deep end.
I did love the gag that Judo Master seems to never take off his actual Judo Master outfit.
Yeah, that was
when they were in the
ridiculous.
hazmat.
Oh, there's that sound again. But yeah, no, it's I got a lot of context from what he was thinking when from the podcast, and not to say that makes it better or worse, just help me understand the goal. And I think that the proof that it's not something that he messed up trying to do, as in like showing a world of Nazis or whatever, is that he didn't. And it's James Gunn. He very clearly, obviously, probably even wanted to, but recognized that's not necessary for the story. There was no scene other than the Judo Master in the pool thing of a bunch of Nazis getting fucking murdered, right? Like,
well, and when Augie kills all the cops.
Sure, but they weren't explicitly. They obviously are Nazis, but they weren't explicitly like doing Nazi shit in the moment, right? Like I'm talking about like Watchmen level, those HBO series, where Dr. Manhattan shows up and just starts popping heads of these fucking Nazis. Yeah. Oh man, I should have included that in my fucking. Never mind. Anyway.
Shame.
So yeah. It's I don't know. I think maybe you're gonna have a lot to give me to think about with your video, Bob. I've already kind of gotten a couple of things from y'all that I haven't thought about yet. I think maybe I did not recognize it as a story about lonely men being radicalized, but that's almost certainly what it was intended as.
Yeah, I'm not saying that was James Gunn's intent, but it is definitely
it came off that way now that I think about it for sure.
Yeah.
He's a lonely guy. He's done all the things that he's supposed to, he's a good guy. He's made friends and blah, 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 but things still just aren't right. He can't get the girl, so to speak. That seems to be one of the main motivations for some people to become a huge piece of shit racist. And then he goes to this other place. Wow, these people are welcoming him. It's everything he's ever wanted. It's the comfort. It's his brother. You can take that and apply that. It's literal in his case, but these guys do often feel like they found a brotherhood. Like an Aryan brotherhood.
What's funny is watching things out of order to get context, because I did not have a chance to just sit down and watch these as they were coming out. Do you know who is not happy in On Earth X? Chris 2. We don't see much of him, but he's not well. And when people talk about him, the other Peacemaker.
Nazi Peacemaker.
Oh.
Yeah, he's not. Like when you first see him, he's all fucked up and shit. The
Wait,
first thing
what?
he does is, he's not a happy guy.
They talk about. I don't think they ever show him being high or anything. But
wait, did you watch the first episode of the season, Morgan?
I have clips of it. Yeah.
Okay, so he died.
Yeah, he dies exactly.
Okay.
Right. But like he attacks.
Okay. I was about to say, he's a little fucked up.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
he, when people talk about him, like he's
Yes.
got some shit going on. He
Augie
was not well in this
Yeah,
world.
But they never actually show us that.
Right. But
Like-
they reference,
like
they
when-
hint at it.
Augie
It
was willing to
foreshadows.
fucking just basically just forgive this other version of him because he recognized he was in a better spot than his son that he accidentally killed. You know what I
Right.
mean? He was just like, yeah, you know what? Let's just call it a wash, man. That guy was kind of fucked up, and this guy seems okay. So, it's there was something there.
Right.
Yeah, there's
But I mean,
a lot of subtext that because main timeline Peacemaker is canonically bisexual in the
Right.
show. That was
Yeah.
established in the first season. So that would imply that Peacemaker in Nazi world was also dealing with that, but was
and as
forced
we know,
to be in the
based
closet.
on the joke that Vigilante made about his father. My dad's not gay in this universe. It's like, no, sorry, but he definitely is. He's
Definitely
just
is.
Yeah. And but even like in conversations between the Nazi world, Harcourt and Chris, she says things about I can't have you. You're going to have to really commit, and I can't have you sabotaging this relationship because you're curious.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That could be read a lot of different ways. The tension between him and Rick Flag Jr. of Nazi world,
Mhm.
and the way that that Keith and Augie talk to him about that jarhead has a lot of subtext in it that maybe the tension between Rick Flag Jr. and Peacemaker wasn't that they were competing for Harcourt. It's that they had a thing for each other, right?
Right.
All that is subtext in the show, but they never show us Nazi world Peacemaker actually being drunk or high or anything. He
Right.
just shows up and finds some imposter
because-
in his house and attacks him.
because Chris is our POV character. So from his
Right.
POV, this dude just dresses. His costume is cooler. His helmet's cooler.
Yeah.
His motorcycle's cooler. I really hope he does keep the costume from that world. By the way, it's much better looking.
The helmet was much better looking, definitely.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like he gets to keep the peace cycle. That sucks. But yeah.
Well, maybe they'll build one in his reality.
So what I'm thinking is the next time, I said this as soon as the episode ended, the next time we see Christopher Smith, he's going to be full native, beard, loincloth, right? Like that's got to be what
Yeah.
happens.
Probably.
Yeah. So I think that there's been a lot of reporting that there is a secret DC TV show in development,
Oh,
I'll believe it when I see it.
and James Gunn has sort of like backhandedly confirmed that. I think it's Checkmate.
Yeah.
That we're going to see something between now and Man of Tomorrow that involves the fate of all of those characters, because he has said we're going to see all of these characters in other things. Like we saw all of Lex Luthor's crew in this show. We're going to see the entire Checkmate team in something else before Man of Tomorrow comes out.
Do they
And-
actually call the new organization Checkmate on screen? Did I just miss that?
yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
they
Oh,
do.
okay, they do.
They don't say the words Checkmate, but they show a sign. It's
Oh, okay. So they're
at
okay.
their
I missed the
offices.
sign then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I watched it on my iPad, so that makes sense.
And it's kind of
Um,
like he was kind of telegraphing it the whole time, because a huge number of these characters he's been using were on
From
the
Check-
Checkmate team, not all at the same time, but they've all been
Right.
on Checkmate. Like GI Robot was on Checkmate, Peacemaker, Sasha Bordeaux.
Mhm.
You mean Cyborg?
Okay. But can we get an Alan Scott on Checkmate? Because Alan Scott was head of Checkmate for a while, like before Final Crisis and into Final Crisis. And
If you guys notice, I'm not saying anything. It's because this is not in my DC knowledge wheelhouse. So
oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah. For once, you found something. Good job. You exposed me.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, even before they made Alan Scott gay, Alan Scott was my second favorite Green Lantern. So
shout out. I want to shout out the performances of a couple of people. Particularly John Cena just gets better and better as an actor. It's
Yeah.
which
he's the
is-
opposite
given,
of The Rock.
He's given Bautista a run for his money.
Yeah.
I mean, I
for sure.
think he's leagues beyond Batista at this point. Honestly, like Batista
I
can do
don't
really
know.
well. Like the opening scene of Blade Runner 2049, he's excellent in, but that's because he's kind of subdued and you know, a little bit sad, so he can do that well. But like, Cena's got some range at this point, man. That fucking scream.
But so does Batista. You should look up some of the stuff he's done that isn't big blockbuster style stuff. He's been in like some roles, like he was in a horror movie recently where he played the leader of a cult, and some other. He's like, both him and John Cena are pushing their
limits.
Their limits and trying to like lean into being actual actors, but Batista's been doing it longer, and I think he had more raw talent in that than Cena did. But Cena is really turning into a good actor.
That emotional stuff at the end of the previous episode, where he screams when they're all just fucking killing his brother in front of him.
Yeah.
That shit was like, ugh. But then so yeah, he had more moments in the finale as well. And then also Danielle Brooks had like 2 moments in this last episode where she's, you know, breaking up with her partner, and then also just like when she gets through to him, that you know, and that this also speaks to the whole radicalization thing, that you're yourself, like you make great choices whenever you're not listening to other people telling you what to do. You know, that's when you've made the biggest mistakes of your life. That's true.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. We were gonna, I guess we can maybe talk about this stuff on the Shillcast. Some the Antifa whistleblower that Jesse Waters had.
Oh yeah, who's also a Mexican gang member. I think he's ISIS as
He's got
well.
a lot of range. He gets around.
The guy is an omnidisciplinary terrorist.
I just hope that guy is getting
without a clue.
I hope that guy's getting SGA credits so he can.
Hope so too. Yeah.
You know, so he can get
because
some health care.
Conservatives hate unions, so no.
Yeah, Fox isn't going to hire a union actor.
Well, sure, but he could still be a member of the union, and I hope
true.
They get him health care or something. That's all.
I hope so. Yeah.
Because Fox sure is not going to give it for him.
Sure, they are not.
Yeah. So next week we'll probably cover the follow up of No Kings 2, Electric Boogaloo. No, just No Kings 2. Hopefully nothing dramatic, other than just a dramatic and resounding, overwhelming fuck you by the American people to this administration. And yeah, Bob, when's your video coming out?
I don't know for sure. I
should not put you on the spot.
I'm shooting. Fingers crossed for Wednesday.
Cool.
But
I gotta get the quote read for you. Yeah, I gotta do that.
That's
then,
when I leave
hectic
for,
weekend.
convention.
Yeah. All right. I got a clip here of this comedian kind of roasting the National Guard guys. I guess in DC or something. I'm not sure, but it's pretty funny. He's not like, you know, he makes them laugh a little bit, so that's good.
I hope it's the Justice League of Dinosaurs.
Oh,
right.
God.
Well, see, this is what I think. I think it's not another planet. I think it's Dinosaur Island, and because I have a theory that what Gunn is building to is a version of I'm forgetting the fucking name now. The Justice Society movie where Dinosaur Island turned out to be a monster called the Center. And
New Frontier.
New Frontier, yeah. I think that's what he's building towards. And this is evidence in favor of that theory. I think he's not on another planet. They just never bothered to find out where the door actually is.
That was I noticed that too. I'm like, y'all
Island.
didn't go around and like see what else is there. Maybe like,
yeah,
you know, what if there's another door there, and then also a bunch of weapons and a bunch of people that he can turn into his army to come back and kill y'all. Didn't check for that? No, okay. But yeah, those little creatures were fucking hilarious and terrifying. By
Horrifying,
the way, fucking ate that dude's face. He had a bad season and he didn't make it out.
Yeah.
That one, I forget his name, but he
his
got kind
role seemed to be like the butt monkey.
Yeah.
His name was Cupid. That was his name.
Cupid, yeah. He got darted by with a tranq dart, all kinds of shit. Bad time. And then his face just eaten
by fucking imps.
Yep. All right. Well, fun times. As fun as it can be talking about what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Here's this thing. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the Shillcast. Please like and subscribe. Thank you once again, 8,000 subscribers. Feel free to support the channel via channel memberships down below. or over.
Let's get us to 8,001 people. Let's get us to 8,001. Come on.
I think we're actually at like 8,010 now. It's pretty cool.
Let's go.
Well done.
Yep. Here's this guy.
National Guard have that porn mustache from the 70s. You guys look like Bottom Gun. Anyways, it's good to be here in Iraq. No, I'm just kidding. This is like Comic-Con out here. I love the National Guard, or as I like to call them, the Washington Commanders. The Commanders have a little bit of a better record at the moment. The U.S. military, they went about 0-20 years in the Middle East recently. Now, we just created a bunch of power vacuums over there, which is not a Dyson product, unfortunately. I think the National Guard and the Coast Guard should just play a volleyball game and then kiss. Let's get it over with. Okay. We're having a good time. I think every veteran should be able to go into any strip club whenever they want and get a free blowjob. We'll call the program PTS My D. That's okay. I like that promo. Beautiful. Stop and frisk this guy. He didn't laugh hard enough. We're definitely flexing right now. This is the equivalent of a guy spreading a bunch of money down his arm. But hey, I get it. If you got it, flaunt it. I feel like I'm in like a No Limit album cover. H1 Hummers. The military and Mike Vick's dogfighting friend. There's no gun on top, is there? There's no gun on top. Budget cuts, I guess. But that'd be scary if there was a big gun on top, right? We love the gun. Frankly, we love the gun. Okay. I'll see you guys in 5 minutes somewhere else. Appreciate you. You guys off to the Nike factory? That is the most delicate ice raid I've ever seen. I just worked on a mini horse farm. That kind of reminds me of that. By the way, you might be wondering why I'm wearing a mask. This is actually genetic. Both of my parents are on ice, so I was born with this. I know, I look like a human NFT. Steelers fan is looking at me like Ben Roethlisberger looking at a lady walking to the bathroom.
I predicted this on January 6th.
Oh, you're a genius.
Well...
Dude, DVDs, what year is it? Okay, now we're gonna rank military branches in order from coolest to least cool. Just kidding, we're not doing that. I think Republicans hate trans for the same reason we all do. Too tempting. What is the insult to even call Coast Guard? Beach Boys? You guys are washed up. Sand Boys. Sandies. But then what do we call National Guard? Homebodies? That's the easiest thing to guard, I feel like. Hey, fat person in the Walmart scooter, don't do that. If you're a politician and you vote for war, you should have to fight in it. That's how it used to be. Politicians used to be equestrians. We've all seen the statues of George Washington on a horse with a sword. Can you imagine Joe Biden on a horse? Instead of a sword, he's holding an ice cream cone. Can you imagine Trump on a horse? Instead of a sword, he's grabbing a pussy. Can you imagine Hillary Clinton as a horse? I think that's the real reason we're taking statues down around the country. They don't want to remind you that politicians used to have to do things.
Hey, Dave, time to turn on your Jordan Peterson voice. I don't know, Jordan Peterson, what you got to say about that?
What was the question?
Can't afford medical bills. Have you tried not being sick? You should.
Well, only people with weak moral character get sick.
Yeah.
If you get sick, it's your own fault.
Pretty
iconic. It's a tightrope. It's a fine line. You start with Kermit, but you kind of have to do. I can't even describe what it is, but you got to, nudge it one way or the other a little bit to get the right Peterson.
If you're sick, maybe you should try eating exclusively meat like we did in the 50s and a good glass of milk.
The one thing you don't want to do is drink apple cider.
You will have you will have a depressive breakdown that will destroy you for weeks.
The next thing you know, you'll wake up and your daughter has put you in a coma in Russia. If I can't be a misogynist to you, I don't know what to do with you.
Mr. Peterson, how many people have gone to prison based on Bill C-16?
Up yours, woke moralist. We'll see who can for who.